Posting.
Maybe I could start so I could get the shit off my...
Just front load it.
So maybe we'll do me, one of you, and then me again, and then that's it. No, just because... I'm just saying that because would rather do 2 segments, but sounds like both of you have one.
I thought you skipped saying me. I thought you skipped saying John, and that was the joke.
No, Rhett, John, Polly, Rhett, or something like that.
We could do that, yeah, totally.
Okay. Oh man!
I'll just sit here. I'm just gonna be a bit dazed.
I was. Speaking of cutting it close and finishing right before the podcast.
Heyo!
I just came. No.
So
yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was the joke.
Yeah, like that's literally what he meant. I had a feeling that was not like a funny joke.
That was 100% not a joke.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was like that's.
I'm like, well, it's 5:40. I'm like, it's 5:40.
I got a couple minutes. I can do this.
Oh no, I started it started at like 5. Let's get this over with.
I'm gonna make a test sound real quick, just because I want to make sure I'm on the right mic.
Okay.
Test.
You're on the right mic.
That was pretty loud.
Okay. Okay, the first one was louder. Good.
Most you summon Chicken Little.
What? Oh, you summon. That's right. Okay.
I just didn't summons. I just didn't do summons much.
That sounds like a common thing that I hear about that game is that like even like all the way up through 3, it's just like yeah they're there, but they're just kind of like there. I guess they're like attractions in 3, and like they're slow, they're boring, they don't do a lot of damage. It's kind of pointless.
That was kind of my impression.
We got our Disney
so
thing
I
in
just
here.
hit stuff real good.
There you go. That's all you got to do in those games is just hit stuff and press triangle to do cool moves.
Oh, they're so cool, Polly.
I've seen some.
They're so cool. Oh, they're cool. I'm just gonna be a bit dazed for a bit. I hope that's okay.
It's fine.
We're live, right? Hi, everybody.
Oh, yeah, we're live.
Oh,
so,
you intro.
Having a good... Polly, I mean, me and John are just both very chill and relaxed right now for very different reasons.
Yeah, about it.
But maybe kind of the same reason.
I mean, there's
not that different.
It's a very similar energy, I think, with regards to a release occurred in both instances, so I'm pretty sure that they're both very comparable.
Life is good.
So
yeah, chats. I keep forgetting everything.
What's with that? The Discord, the We Love Polly channel.
I don't know.
You don't know what? It's not like a joke that started on the stream last night.
Maybe it did. I don't know. I don't know why it's there.
Okay.
Like I just came and I looked and it was like there's a what's no. I have no idea why that is there or who made it. I could look at the audit just to see, but
which Toho has the most Hot Topic energy? Sean thought he was doing like this big, thought-provoking question
like
for
literally,
everyone.
There's 2 answers to this.
It's a Katya.
Yeah.
Welcome, Heart Hell.
Yeah.
Like, I like Nue a lot, but you look at her and she's too fancy for Hot Topic.
Nah, I think that Hot Topic does have some of that same kind of, like, elegant, gothy energy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely... Yeah. Like, I think she fits.
As a runner-up.
As a runner-up, yes, exactly.
Wait, who's the runner-up? I missed it.
Nue.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I know who that is. Let me double... Oh, yeah, I knew who that was.
She's the extra stage boss of UFO, I think.
Yeah.
I don't really know the characters after UFO, to be honest.
Yeah, like I get kind of lost in the sauce after that time. Like they're all just kind of like, I know Clown Piece is a thing.
Oh yeah.
I was mixing her up with the stage 4 boss in Toe 15 because okay, she's a different one-winged angel.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
A lot of familiar imagery there.
Polly and I both bought Toho figures last night.
Yep.
Aww.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Excellent.
I have a
They're not
Yomu
matching,
on the way.
right?
No, I have a Yomu on the
Who?
way.
Aww.
Sega
Excellent.
actually makes
I
some
think
really
that's nice.
good Toho figures, it turns out.
Cool.
And they're official, so they're really good. The Yomu is
that rules.
super adorable.
Yeah.
And then along the way, as I was checking out, they were like, hey, we've got like some really good Megumin.
Oh my god, these are so good.
And then some of them are like $250.
yeah,
so
and then those are like, you know what? I like Megaman, but not $250 like Megaman.
I actually already have a Megaman figure.
Yeah.
That wasn't one of those, so
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But I don't have
these
any
are so
Toho.
cute and pretty.
I bought the Marissa one.
Like, Toho figures are, in general, like, they're pretty rare. So the fact that, like, Sega is releasing these really, really good figures, that's awesome. You know, I feel like maybe they'll stick around a little more, and I'll probably add a couple of more to my collection.
See, that's my terror is like, oh no.
Yeah, like, that could be a problem. Because they're like $30 a pop. That's...
Yeah. Which is good for one. It's bad when you're like thinking 5.
Exactly. Yeah. But think of this. Think of this.
God.
Most figures tend to run about $150. That's your kind of like, that's your low to mid ballpark for
like
really,
the premium ones.
for
though.
premium anime figures, right?
Prize figures are yeah.
So I think it's a better deal to say, okay, yes, I spent $150 on 5 really cool Toho figures, rather than saying I bought this one $150 figure.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the better
That Saki
play.
is very good. I immediately went for Saki and Ramelia.
Oh,
was
nice.
where my brain went. Was where I
Yep.
immediately went.
Those are good.
They're very good.
Like,
They are more pricey. They're 50 to 60.
My most expensives are my Cosmos version 3 and Telos, because those are just super fucking very well put together. Like, every little fine detail is loved and labored over. They're ridiculous. I have a really good Suigento from Rose and Maiden as well.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's really, really good. She's like sitting on the inverted cross. It's really cool.
My 2 most expensive are Hibiki and Hibiki.
Big shock over here.
But the one I have upcoming is actually going to break that slightly.
Uh-oh.
The Rena one.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, good.
Yeah, that Rena figure is really good.
It's a lot.
I only have Sakura's, so if I got more, if I got Toho ones, I would be expanding the scope of my figuring.
Yeah.
Beyond one character.
Okay, guys.
Some
Taylor
safest.
says that Rose and Maiden was kind of... You're not wrong. For one, they didn't end it. It didn't get an ending. Like
They did a whole like reboot sequel.
then they did a whole reboot sequel that was terrible.
Did you watch it?
No, but
I
like,
watched it and don't remember it.
the only feedback I remember hearing about it was that it literally belongs in a landfill. Like, it just sounded like absolute ass.
I don't think I mean, I watched the anime adaptation of it. I don't remember it being that bad, but I'm sure the manga probably petered the fuck out then.
Yeah. I think that like, for a series that I resisted for a very long time, I was very adamant about not watching it for a long time. I ended up having a better time with it than I thought I did, and Shinku is a bitch. Fuck that cunt.
You little.
Fuck that cunt. Go watch Overture and tell me Shinku's not a fucking cunt.
Oh, probably yeah.
It totally justifies Suigento's entire fucking worldview. I don't know whether they wanted me to actually sympathize with. I don't know whether they wanted me to sympathize with or love Shinku for her role in Overture. I don't know what their intent was there, but it was just like, man, I didn't like her already, and now I absolutely hate the bitch.
Okay, the original Rose and Maiden anime was 2004.
Yep.
And like that was a different time where like they didn't really adapt the manga.
No,
like,
it was
directly. Yeah.
It was mostly an original story because like Kira Kasuisho was like a completely new antagonist.
Well, that was season 2 where they like tried to steer it to being back more like the manga.
Yeah,
so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Just back in those days, like everything was like really not nearly as faithful as it is now.
Yeah.
Where, like stuff like Attack on Titan or ReZero are like, we will follow the manga to our deaths.
Yeah,
basically.
they like, and you have to wonder sort of where that mentality comes from. Like, is that just sort of like, well, you know what, coming up with original stories is kind of harder?
I think people just kept getting mad at
or was it just the people, endings. Or was it people just getting pissy because things didn't stick to their original stories so much? And like, like a lot of original endings.
People got mad about endings all the time.
Yeah, like and I feel that like a lot of the time it wasn't justified. Because I don't think that a lot of anime endings are as terrible as people make them out to be. I think people come at them because it wasn't exactly what I wanted, rather than, is this objectively good or bad? Like, something like My Hime's ending is literally objectively terrible. Nobody can justify it. There isn't a person on the fucking planet that can justify that shitty, putrid, fucking disgusting, awful, ass-eating ending. No offense to any ass-eaters out there. But, like, when you look at other original endings, like, okay, I guess the obvious is Full Metal Alchemist.
Like, where the original is way better.
Where the original is 100% better than the whatever the fuck Brotherhood and the manga were going for. It's just, I don't think that sticking to your material, like, just because, like, it's a fucking Bible and that's the only thing you can do, gives you the best results a lot of the time. It does work, and it makes some things, like, it makes some things work really well, like the Haruhi, the adaptations of those novels, minus Endless 8, because Endless 8 was just literally give us money.
Yeah.
But things like Disappearance, that first season, everything that they've covered in that anime, like, having read those novels, it's note for note. They did it.
Yeah, I'm not saying, like, everything wasn't faithful. Like, that definitely was a super, super faithful one for the first season.
Sure.
But, like Rose and Maiden just kind of took the idea of it and then made the first season as kind of a general sense of what that story was.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the times, like, you got better individual seasons by doing that.
Yep.
Where, like, I think the first Hayate the Combat Butler season, even though it was like 50 episodes, like, that was kind of my favorite part of the whole manga, or the whole series. And it was, like, completely unfaithful to the manga. And then, like, you have series like Rose and Maiden or Hayate the Combat Butler where they try to do second seasons that steer things back towards being like the manga, and that was always awkward.
Yeah. Like,
I think the problem is now for me is that you have shows that, like, will do super faithful adaptations, but they only do like 3 volumes, and it just ends at a weird, awkward place.
And then, like, they never get their follow up,
and they never do a follow up. So it's like, that you just.
And then there's weird fucking
you made a trailer for the manga.
Yeah,
you made a trailer for the light novel. You made a trailer for the manga.
Yeah,
and there's what people want, apparently.
Weird fucking edge cases like Gunslinger Girl, where they did their first season and then they did an ending, and it was like, okay, it's poignant because it really kind of it points out the themes that they're shooting for in that story. It's really well done. It's a beautiful moment the way that that first season ends. Yeah. And then when they come back, they do Il Teatrino. And I'm not going to get into the quality issues of that. It's just more of the story idea is, we're the manga now, and the thing that we did at the end of that first season didn't happen.
Yeah, that's like one of the most egregious examples of like, yeah, we're just ignoring that we
Character
weren't faithful for season
literally
one.
comes out dancing in the first scene, just doing a jig. She's having a good time.
Hey, cool, you're not dead.
Hey, cool, you're not dead. You know what else is not dead? This podcast! Ladies and gentlemen, the title drop coming in like 15 minutes late. But we got there. Welcome to the anime show.
I would rather talk about anime this week for some reason.
Yeah, I know, right? This seems like there's a lot to talk about. Welcome to Sockscast episode 135. We've done so many of these. So.
That number just means nothing anymore. It's just like, it just keeps getting bigger.
That number only means something when we hit like 150. That'll be cool.
That's not that far away. That'll happen this year,
that
right?
will probably happen this year if we stick to our every 2 weeks thing. Yeah, like we will probably hit 150 by the end of the year. Yeah.
Oh, look at that hot topic Toho.
That hot topic Toho.
I just shared a very hot topic new way. That's a very hot topic new way in the chat there. I think
like she can rock it, but like as far as like your actual in-game appearance, Hikachiya wins. Like,
sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's a super good look.
It's a very good look.
Obviously, that doesn't fly on an audio podcast. But
John, stop sending pictures.
I don't think, like, we've been doing this for 7 years, and I don't think John really understands what audio podcast means yet. But yeah, it's a really good picture of Nue Hojo from Toho. Super hot
it's
topic.
All media res. We're jumping in.
Yeah.
At the start of the podcast.
To my immediate virtual right, go ahead and give him a nice squeeze. It's Rhett.
Oh, me.
Yeah,
okay.
you.
Somehow, we've done 135 threes. I'm expecting you to do John first. I don't know why.
What the fuck? I've literally never fucking put John first.
Nobody puts John first.
Nobody. And that's the way things should be. Like, that's the way things should be.
Not even John puts John first.
Not even John puts John first. I promise we're not depressed. We're just depressing. We're just depressing. Rat, you ready for a very...
Our not depressed shirts are prompting people to ask a lot of questions answered by our shirts.
The only question that's going to be answered by my shirt is the blood on it from a nosebleed I had last night, and I was too lazy.
Geez.
I was too lazy to change it. It's been one of those
my goodness.
It's been one of those kind of days where it's just
boy.
get a nosebleed, go to bed, because fuck this. The night's done.
God.
Like, whatever. It's not getting better. And I look down, and it's like, oh man, I bled on myself. Oh well. It's fine. I'll be done with that.
It's a very lazy Sunday.
It is. I'm taking a shower.
Maybe
tonight.
a bit too lazy.
Taking a shower tonight. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It's just a little dried blood. It's like just a couple splotches. It's nothing big. It's my own blood. I'm fine with it.
I used to get nosebleeds all the time as a kid, so I got very good at like stuffing toilet paper up there to make a clot.
Yep, that's what I did. I think it was just the humidity was low. In my house, so I turned on the humidifier and went to sleep and woke up and that was fine.
I woke up covered in your own blood.
No, it was fine. It was before I went to sleep.
Okay.
Humidifiers are so good.
Yes, they're fantastic. They just make they make everything
so
great.
good.
Like I don't sleep without one now. It's fantastic. To my immediate virtual left.
I want to be back home in my swamp, and the humidifier tricks my body into thinking I'm in the swamp.
To my immediate virtual left, the 7-shot wonder himself. It's John Thayer.
I was waiting to see if he'd go simple and clean is the way he's feeling tonight.
Oh my god.
You're expecting me to make
That was good,
you're
though.
expecting me to make Kingdom Hearts references, and I literally can't because I know almost nothing about it. Despite
You're
having
on the
played it.
wrong podcast, buddy, for Kingdom Hearts references.
Despite the fact that I played through the first one, that was literally in 2003. And
If
even
you know
though,
nothing
and
about
even
Kingdom
though I've
Hearts, it puts
watched
you in a
people,
great place for enjoying them without spoilers.
and even though I've watched people stream those games at various points, and none of it sticks because I mean I think I'm subconsciously just like I'm gonna play those at some point, and I just don't want to fucking know. So it's just background noise.
Yeah, I think that's
So-
wise.
So
I didn't post videos of all the really, really cool bits at the end. I was
Yeah.
like, nope. Nope, I don't care if you opted into the spoilers. You are not seeing this.
this is John time.
This is this is just for me.
just for you, But you're doing good. You're ready to do one of these things that we've already been doing for 20 minutes. So why are we
I'm
shitting?
good now. I wasn't ready 20 minutes ago when I was
God.
still emotionally.
Yeah, you were
spent.
kind of a wreck, but we worked into it. Now we're doing
We
fine.
worked into it.
Worked into it. A little bit of podcast
Now we're doing
foreplay
just fine.
gets everything on track.
Got to get you in the right mood.
Yeah. It's like audio
I'm
foreplay.
there. I
That's
don't
what
know
I-
about y'all.
There you go. I'm like right there at the. I'm gonna
That's
be.
what I think about.
I'm literally going to be edging this whole show. That's how it works here. That's how it works.
That's how you keep the good excitement up for the,
Yeah, exactly. It's how
for
I
the segments.
exactly like the segments that I don't care
It's
about.
like
I just focus on
it's
my
like
genitals.
it's like boxers. It's like boxers not having sex the night before a big game because they want that good horny energy.
Man, like boxers not having sex the night before a fight, get in the middle and just start kissing. Just go for it. That's the kind of energy I'm looking for. Have at it, dog. Have at it.
Hey, Rat,
Hi.
have you been up to anything?
I've been up to a
been
lot
up
of
to
stuff,
anything, Mike?
actually.
Tell us. Fill us in.
Okay. So last week, I was in the middle of Valkyria Chronicles 4. I almost said 2, because it's the second one for Americans, basically.
Oh.
So it was funny, because a bunch of stuff I said about, like, kind of the systems that they changed in that game immediately became untrue, like, 10 minutes later into the game.
Oh, good.
Well, it's just because they throw new stuff at you as you go, so it's a good thing. But it's just kind of like
Sure.
funny how like I talked about how there's a new system where like commanders can like go up to other units and be like, "Follow me." You know, you can move a bunch at once to kind of speed things along. And I mentioned that like you don't get any scouts that can do that because that would be really powerful.
Yeah, that'd be
Because-
a little busted.
Because the scouts can move across like half the map because they've like by far the highest movement speed
Mhm.
and distance. Immediately afterwards, I go back to the game and they're like, anyways, here's your new scout, their commander, and they can do that ability. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Good.
And then, this is a kind of a neat thing. You get the ability to promote one character,
Mhm.
like out of your randos, the ones that can permadie,
Mhm.
and that they will also gain that ability. So of course I put it on a scout.
Sure. Yeah. Like,
Oh my
why would you not? That would be stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I ended up, so you can, it's not really a permanent promotion. You can just move it on to whichever character you
Oh,
want.
you get to bounce it around. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I ended up, because I had that other scout who was the kind of the set story character,
Mhm.
I ended up moving it around because shock troopers are kind of the actual MVPs of this game for me.
Oh yeah.
They just fucking kill so good in this one. They are so fucking strong.
In my
like-
game about murdering, I want to use the units that are good
Yeah.
at murdering.
Because like these games have always been kind of silly where it's like you just run up to the enemy and you put the crosshair on the enemy's head and you shoot them in the head and it does the like crit damage and you just one shot them.
Mhm.
Shock troopers are just so good at that because they take pretty low interception damage when you're running up. And then some of the classes they get, yeah, I think I had gotten the grenades on the scouts when I did the last podcast. The shock troopers, they get a fucking flamethrower.
burn the motherfucking children.
The flamethrower is not only like stronger than the machine gun when you're up close, it's also an AoE.
Oh.
So I can just take a shock trooper and run up to like the enemy headquarters or their camp.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's like 3 of them too close together, you just fucking sweep that thing and kill 3 guys at once. It's kind of nuts.
That shit feels good.
It's just like, oh yeah, I'm kind of just aiming in the general area, and then bonk, bonk, bonk. I'm just like, Jesus, these are crazy. So the game has to kind of compensate for the fact that it gets a bit busted on your end of like being really strong.
Mm-hmm.
I think the later half of the game, it really starts to rely a lot on kind of boss enemies, which isn't the best part of those games.
No.
Like there's
there are
this
cool
one
boss encounters.
Yeah.
Like where you have to do something within a certain number of turns, or like reroute a unit to some other place and then destroy it or something. But like boss enemies themselves are kind of just damage sponges.
There's one where you have to fight against the enemy Valkyria, and she just, if she sees anybody, they're just like fucking dead.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, it is Valkyria, and that's what's supposed to happen. But it's not always the fun part.
Yeah. So then it's like, oh, you have to, always end a turn underneath something so that when her beams of fucking destruction come down, they don't just one-shot everybody.
Destruction rains from the heavens.
That's basically what she does. It's really, and she will like do it as interception fire as well. So you're just running across the map, and all of a sudden, die!
Oh my god, that's dope.
There's one tank that keeps showing up that the radiator is on top. So the 4 gunners, or not the guys with rocket launchers, Lancers, they don't get a good shot at it. So you have to kind of use the Grenadiers who have.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. You have to give the Grenadiers a reason to exist.
But I thought the Grenadiers kind of are better than
Lancers.
The Lancers in general. I didn't use Lancers a ton in this game. But then, like, I don't know, it just they just throw a lot of really crazy stuff at you in this game. And so, like, a lot of people were kind of complaining on the forums, like, every mission is just, like, see what bullshit they're going to throw at you and then restart so that you can be prepared. I didn't have that bad of a time. Like, most missions, I was still able to scrape by on the first attempt.
Yeah.
There was one, though, where, like, your characters know they're walking into a trap, and you as the player know you're walking into a trap.
Sure.
But then, like, when you capture a certain enemy base, it just spawns, like, 20 enemies on the map, and some of them just spawn, like, on top of all your units.
What?
So, it's really clunky. It's one of the, like, one part that I was like, no, you really could have handled that better. It's really not fair to just have a bunch of enemies appear on top of you.
No, that's pretty shit.
Yeah. But then when I redid that one, and I was like, okay, this time I'm using Lancers. I'm positioning like 4 of them up on this building so that they can hit that tank with the radiator on top from the top. So I just get a whole bunch of them up there, and then I know it's going to appear on this one turn, and I just fucking dump into it and win like immediately. So it's like once you have a little, foresight into what's going to happen, like some also become too easy. But I had a good time with the gameplay. It gets nuts at points. It feels like they're kind of pushing those systems a little past the breaking point. God, the final boss took me like 2 hours. It just keeps going.
Oh, like it took 2 hours because you kept losing, or just because it's like a big epic fight?
Because it's a big epic fight. I didn't lose. I was like, okay, it's been an hour. I'm going to drop a save here. They let you save mid-mission.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the one time where it's like, I will be okay. Save's coming a bit. Yeah. Because I'm not just redoing the first hour.
Redoing an entire fucking fight that long would be a bit ridiculous.
Like, I thought I was going to, like, get home from work and just polish off the last mission of this game. And then it's like, it's 5 a.m. and I'm still fighting this. Okay, it's good. Now I've got to watch the actual ending.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it went a bit longer than I thought it was going to. Yeah, there's one mission, like the second to last one. It's like you have to stop a battleship from escaping. So like your characters are moving down the map and trying to board it, but it's actually a submarine. So like, and then every other turn it dives under the water, and anybody that's on it will just drown. So it's like they go some interesting kind of weird places with the gameplay of just like pushing it as far as they can. But then like again, your abilities are so overpowered where it's like all the I had like 5 characters on the thing and it went underwater and they all, get KO'd and I'm like, oh shock. But then you just summon them back from the camp.
Right.
It's like it's fine. The story is very straightforward for like 75% of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, kind of a war thing. The plan they have in this game is so stupid. It's just, we're going to win the war by taking over the enemy capital city. And you're like, okay, do you have some clever plan to do that? No. We're just going to march north like 1,600 miles and just fucking push as hard as we can. That's the plan.
Well, I mean, it's wow.
So there's a big battle at the border, and you actually manage to break through, and then yeah. Oh, and Jetstorm in chat says we're going to invade Russia in winter. Yes, that also happens.
Oh,
where it's like October in the game, and they're like, we'll be fine, and then it starts snowing, and they're just like, we're not fine anymore.
Suddenly, everything was not fine.
Yeah. So then there is a backup plan, so you end up spending a lot of the game on a battleship that's trying to go around on the ocean to hit the capital. So it gives you a nice change of scenery, especially from the first game. Like winter is kind of the main theme of this one.
Yeah.
But like the story's not doing a ton of interesting stuff, but I do like the characters, and then story gets pretty crazy in anime towards the end, I will say. And like there's also how do I word it?
Mission sounds like a lot in a good way.
Yeah. So the first game had some very on-the-nose analogs to the actual World War II.
Yeah.
Where you mentioned Rosie being
big old racist.
Big old racist. Like, this game has, or the first game has a very poignant message about, like, discrimination and race and, how that goes. So this game's kind of World War II analog is extremely on the nose. It's nuclear weapons.
Oh! Okay.
Because the plan you find out, a little bit of spoilers, but the plan you find out is not just take over the enemy capital city.
No, that's not enough.
It's
we're gonna.
It's to not have an enemy capital city.
Yeah,
by the time
we're just not gonna have one anymore.
Yeah, we're bringing the nuke, and there's just not going to be one anymore.
I mean, that's a solid plan.
We're pretty sure this will win the war for us.
We thought it through.
So the whole time I'm kind of like, I increasingly get the feeling over the course of like the end game that like maybe we're not doing the right thing here. Maybe we're kind of the assholes.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah, and I thought they were going for that, and they kind of don't get there in the end. But I think there is a lot of like, you feel these characters like continually justify doing the wrong thing for the greater good.
Oh man.
And it's just it does get kind of rough.
Yeah, that feels real rough.
We're like, there's a mission where you have to send some characters to die.
Oh. Good.
And then it's for the greater good. It's to save everybody else.
Sure.
But you actually have to choose characters that will go on the suicide mission. It's a little rough.
Oh, man.
And there's shocking thing for me, I actually play both games on English. I just think it feels more natural because it's a World War II thing set in, Europe. There's unique dialogue for every random NPC, like squad member, for when you select them as the character to go on the suicide mission.
Oh, boy. Oh, good.
So they're like, I'll gotta go sometime. I'm not afraid to die. Like, just really.
Well, better go tell the wife and kid I won't be home for dinner.
So I select one character.
Oh no!
And she goes, This just feels right. And I'm like, okay, you seem cool with it. Bye. Because I'm trying to not just cheap out and use and just throw a character that I haven't used the entire game at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it has a little more weight if I actually use somebody I like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like, she's one of the characters I like, and I'm like, okay, but she's a good class for the mission as well. And she said this just feels right. She's cool with it. And then at the end of the mission, there's actually a unique cutscene for that character.
Oh dear.
Where she goes, I'm leaving up behind a husband to bring you bastards to hell with me. So I'm just like, oh. So I'm like, so probably every character probably has like an extra little scene unique for them. I'm just like, oh man.
Oh, you really did it this time.
Yeah. So that's rough. And then there's the whole like,
eat your heart out, Spec Ops the line.
Oh god. And then there's the whole end game where they're trying to, get the nuke into the enemy city.
Sure.
And they know a lot of civilians are about to die if they do this. And it's just like, are we the bad guys? Yes.
Yeah.
We definitely feel it, because they never really go into why the war started. Maybe the first game does that more and they didn't want to repeat that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But then things happen, and there's a super anime scientist villain that kind of shows up at the end to kind of wash everyone's hand of sin, and it feels a little cop-outy.
Weird.
But I had a good time with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely stuff to think about in there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, even like, as with me feeling they copped out a little bit at the end, like, even the characters are reflecting on the war the ones that survived are reflecting on what had they just gone through, and they're just not even sure if it actually made them better people. It's a pretty bittersweet ending still. Like, hey, the war game probably shouldn't actually be pro-war. It's fine like this. Like, it's not Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They're definitely like not saying that this was a great thing that happened.
Yeah.
And I kind of appreciated that.
Cool.
So funny thing is that Valkyria Chronicles 1 was one of the earlier games I talked about on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm kind of coming
and now
full
we're
circle
coming
and playing
full
the next
circle.
one.
Right.
So then, speaking of coming full circle, the next game I played a bit of was Yakuza 6.
Hey! Yakuza! It's back!
So Yakuza 6 came out, like 3 or 4 years ago on PS4.
Yeah.
And I have slowly been working my way up, or quickly at times, where I played like 3 of them in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So to this point, not in this order.
Been a fun journey.
God, I think Yakuza 4 I still played while we were doing the podcast. Like, I think that was 2014. I don't remember exactly. I think maybe I played it before the podcast, but it was on my Game of the Year list. But this has also been like a long recurring journey. So not in this order, but I have played Yakuza 0, Kiwami, Kiwami 2, 3, 4, and 5, and Judgment, which isn't part of the main
But
timeline.
it's Yakuza adjacent enough to count it.
But as far as like Kiryu's story goes, I've played every single one up to 6 now. And then so I bought it on PS4 last year, and then of course a month later they finally say the PC version is coming after like 4 years, and I'm like, okay, well I'll just wait for that, obviously. And then the PC version comes and it's crashing a lot for me. It runs really well. It just crashes a lot at any sort of load or randomly. I just can't figure out why.
Have you found any kind of like consensus of other people that are having these similar issues as you, or is this just like this something that feels really isolated?
So I stopped looking at the forums after I kind of gave up on it, but a lot of people were having problems where the game just wouldn't even launch. So, which is different from mine. Mine was that it launches and runs fine, and then it crashes. Everybody else was like, it doesn't run at all. So they're probably focusing on that right now.
Sure.
So I did the completely rational thing of ordering a new computer.
I mean, that's what you do when a video game doesn't work on your current rig, is you just buy a new computer.
Buy a new one. Because Yakuza cost me to blue screen once, which has like never happened. Yeah. I was like kind of kind of a lot. Beepner in chat asked if I'm overclocking. I've never overclocked. So I blue screened once, and I was just like, "Uh-oh!" And then I did
never good.
And then, like, a couple days later, I blue screened again, not even playing Yakuza. I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh, that's a scary sign. Blue screens are usually indicative of driver or hardware issues, and that's never fun to fucking troubleshoot.
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm just going to go on Newegg and look at PCs, and then I find something I'm, like, really attracted to, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy the first one I see. So then I spent like 2 hours looking on Amazon, looking on Best Buy, looking more on Newegg. And then I ended up buying that first one. Just like, fuck it.
Why not?
Awesome.
Yeah. So that'll be here too.
I bought my new laptop last year, and it has really treated me well. It's been nice.
I mean, this computer I'm on right now, I got it in 2013, so it's like it's been a bit, for sure.
Yeah, I got mine in 2012, so we waited the exact same amount of time.
Yeah. It's a little I'm a little salty because I did buy a video card in like 2018 to keep this one relevant. So it's like, but then I looked at the list of games I'd played in 2019, and it was a lot of like kind of heavy duty 3D stuff. So I'm like, okay, I don't feel like
out of it.
It wasn't unused. It just I did want to last a little longer, but
yeah,
you know, it happens. So that's kind of my first segment is those the two big Sega games.
Gotcha.
Hopefully I'll be talking about Yakuza 6 properly next time.
Hey, that'd be ideal. We got to get this. We got to continue the journey. We got to get to 7, the good one.
Because then I want to play 7 like immediately.
Yeah, like we just got like that's me. Like I just want to I want to play 0 and then I want to play the good one. I'm just gonna play 0 and 7.
I mean, they absolutely they renamed 7
like a dragon just because
so that people would just be like. I mean, it's not a Kiryu story.
Yeah, so. It's literally they're like, okay, we're finally making this break because it's probably fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as far as I've always heard, is that 6 definitively ends his story.
Yeah.
And then there was a pretty long break. They made Judgment, and now they're making 7, but it's a new protagonist. And it's an RPG now.
Yeah.
So good.
But even then, even having played all of them and Judgment, just going around beating up dudes in 6, I was like, I'm still here for this. I still just have a really good time.
Awesome.
Fucking mashing square, hitting triangle, and then doing the big heat action.
Doing the heat actions.
Smash that dude's head into a car. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still here for all that, but, like, 7 seems so good.
Yeah. 7 is just... Everything I've seen is completely and utterly bonkers in a way that the series is always kind of hinted at, but they finally just decided, you know what, we're going to jump the shark on purpose.
Well, it seems like instead of just making you do heat actions, that's just kind of what the combat is.
That's what the combat is. Yeah, everything's a fucking heat action.
And that's a genius way to go about it, because some of the heat actions, like, they get so context specific that it's hard to see everything.
Yeah.
So by doing it as an RPG, like, just being like, okay, hit this button, like, to have more knowledge of what attack you're doing before you just... Because everything is activated with triangle and the other ones.
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes you'll just hit triangle and not know what's about to happen. Because even in the little bit of 6 I played, they're like, attack and hit triangle while an enemy with a blunt object is attacking you, and you'll counter and do this, like, take it out of their hands. It's like... But sometimes you'll hit triangle and they'll just do a totally different move, like, because they're all contexts.
Yeah,
stuff.
like it's all like and a lot of the times the game does not communicate to you what those contexts are.
Yeah, it just flashes the triangle and you hit triangle and something cool happens, basically.
Yeah, it's the cool button.
Yeah, it's a very cool button.
It really is.
Yeah. So, Polly, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
No, wait. There was a really nice segue there, because I played a game where you press the triangle to do cool stuff randomly.
Man,
Polly, go ahead.
Pull the fucking Band-Aid off. Let's do it. John, hold off. Let's go. Press the triangle button, please. I'm going to press the sleep button, so I'll see y'all more.
It's literally... Alright, it's a game where, contextually, cool. You get prompted to press the triangle button, and then your character does cool shit. And it's some really cool shit.
That is fair, and they both started on the PS2.
There you go. Look at this. What could he possibly be talking about?
I'm sorry for interrupting the segue. I was just like so juiced up for that.
Does Adam want to come in for this segment, and I'll just give over the microphone for the next hour.
It'll be okay. I'm not going to take an hour. But I played Kingdom Hearts 2. I started on Friday because previous week, and then just blazed through the whole thing in 9 days, which is fast now for a 30-hour game.
Sure.
But yeah, I played Chain of Memories in the first game about 2 years ago. So it's about as long as the games took to come out, because I played 1, and then 8 months later I played Chain of Memories, and then now these 2 years later I'm playing 2, which is about how long it took.
Man, you're not going to get to 3 until 2033.
Hey, maybe 4.
That's weird.
Maybe
that's
4 will be out by then.
Well, Kingdom Hearts 2 is Kingdom Hearts 3. I've just finished the Kingdom Hearts trilogy, obviously. So I'm just gonna do a couple things here. It starts off with 3 hours with all new characters and a bunch of stuff from Chain of Memories right away before you even see Sora, which is fucking great.
I love the balls that they had to do that, because this is the big sequel. There's no guarantee that everybody played Chain of Memories, and no,
because it's a
GBA game. And they just dove head first into it with these completely unknown characters, this fucking weirdo scenario, going around the city doing fucking odd jobs. It's the wildest fucking opening to such a hotly anticipated game that is supposed to kind of you feel like you buy this game and the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to jump the fuck off the second you put it in your PS2, and no, you're not getting that.
It's an extremely chill, relentlessly chill for 2 hours while you're just getting to know this guy's friends, Roxas's friends.
It's not the same vibe.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not the same vibe. For some reason, I'm thinking of Metal Gear Solid 2, where you play Snake for an hour, and then the entire rest of the game is this other character.
No, that's not really the thing they're doing at all. It's just...
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like if you played as Raiden for 3 hours, and then you went back to playing, and then they introduced Snake.
And then you went to play the video game that you wanted to play.
But I'm just saying, games, they felt a little more free to fuck with expectations like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is all the weird dope shit where it's all you're not sure if this is a fucking dream or a computer or some weird trippy thing, and then it pops off at the end in a really wild way. Again, focusing entirely on all these new characters from Chain of Memories, which is so funny.
This game has so much balls.
All about...
this game, I admire the big balls this game is carrying around in a gigantic wheelbarrow. Just from the outside looking in, it's always fascinated me.
Mm-hmm. And then, so then it finally resolves the stuff from Chain of Memories there, and then Sora comes back, and then it's the music starts up, the title screen drops, and it's okay, off to Disney Worlds.
Oh,
and then you go run around Disney Worlds for 10 hours.
Mm. Gotta get to the boring fluff part sometime.
The part people are here for, damn it.
It is the part that pulled people in, because apparently the first 3 hours were the boring part that nobody liked.
Oh yeah, those. If there's anything that I hear people complain about more about that game, it's that I have to play the start again. So it's common the people that I've seen. It's I keep a save file at the end of that part.
I mean, if they're speedrunning, I understand.
Sure.
That's so funny. Because again, it's just, all right, and now we're going to do the same thing we did in the first game, which is we're going to have a bunch of Disney stuff and then story.
Mm.
So, couple big changes here. So the first game felt like janky 3D Mana, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just felt felt a little bad. Maybe I liked it. I liked how it felt. Basically.
I'm like, I
like the
think that
fighting.
it's very clearly a first try. I don't think it's bad. I think that just like that camera just does not work the way it needs to, and that combat does not have the impact that it needs. It's just not there yet, is really kind of what I get from that first game.
I really liked beating up Heartless in the first one. I really liked how that felt. The last dungeon especially is just like a string of basically combat gauntlets. And I'm like, yep, this is what I wanted. And then it mostly fell apart for me with all the big bosses.
They're not really put together well, I don't think.
They're not there.
No.
They're not all the way there.
No.
But much worse than that for me was the first game being like completely inscrutable all the time on what you're supposed to do.
Oh yeah,
God, yeah.
Event flag hunting.
It is a nightmare of event flag hunting. I finally gave up like 5 hours in and just pulled up a guide because it was so
it's not fun,
dense and slow. And like I remember running around Tarzan World for an hour.
Oh,
before finding out I was
God.
supposed to walk into an unmarked tent, and that triggered the next cutscene.
Fuck that shit. I know exactly what you're talking about because I can see myself sitting in a chair on a Sunday morning doing the same thing and running into that tent and getting very angry.
This is why every 3D game now just has a map and a fucking mini marker, like waypoint things just flashing.
People don't know how to fucking guide players properly, apparently.
Yeah. So they just like put a fucking flashing red dot, like go here.
I'm fine with that.
It's probably preferable to how this game does it.
And also, there's the gummy ship levels, and guess what? Every time you go between worlds, you got to do the gummy ship levels again.
Oh,
they're
jeez.
so boring, too. God, it's not even.
Boring.
It's not even an interesting, fun, shmuppy kind of thing. It's just slow and fucking boring.
I was playing on an emulator, so I would just frame skip and
There
then
you
mash
go.
the X button, and then I would get through every time.
Yep, that's smart.
That's great game design when you can just fucking tank it.
I know. So I loved the story bits at the start of Kingdom Hearts 1. I thought it was really evocative and creepy and cool.
Yeah.
The way they set things up on that first island. And I completely adored the climax of it, the Hollow Bastion and then the end of the world. I thought it was dope. Bunch of Disney stuff in the middle, and the Disney stuff was inscrutable to play. And that made it much more taxing. So, handful of things about Kingdom Hearts 2. The gummy ship levels, you only have to do them once now, and then that unlocks that path forever, so you don't have to do them more than once. That's really nice.
Is that
kind of
is that a
obvious.
final mix change, or is that like what it was like in the original release?
I don't know. That's what it's like in Final Mix.
Okay.
I don't know if they fixed that. And I played the PS2 Kingdom Hearts 1, and I played Final Mix Kingdom Hearts 2 because I stopped trusting PS2 emulation. And the waypointing and event flagging, they give you a mini map, but they don't put a marker on it. They don't actually go that far of telling you exactly where to go. It is crystal clear the whole time. I knew exactly.
Okay.
I never hit an event flag issue once throughout the game. I always. It felt very smooth without straight up just giving you a way marker either.
Yeah.
So it felt very well done to me.
I mean, if they just say, hey, go into one of the tents, like, you know what to check, instead of just running around for an hour.
And they're better about having Sora go, oh, we don't need to go there right now when you go try to go someplace irrelevant. It felt nice to me. The fighting is really good.
It looks so
Like, it
much
didn't really-
better.
Yep. It feels like Devil May Cry. It feels like Devil May Cry to me.
It's like Devil May Cry for babies. Because it looks really like, from my understanding, it's very simple. A lot of it is
really
just
easy.
A lot of it is just mash the button and you start mash because there's a lot of cool buttons.
Yep. Like the cool triangle button.
Yeah.
But then they have in the final mix version they add some like optional bosses.
Mm-hmm.
So like very early on, I hit an optional boss that was way too early for me to be fighting. So I just bashed my head against it for 90 minutes, and I was like, "Oh wait a minute, this is like an actual action game," because I was like learning the patterns and blocking things and parrying things and getting better and getting further in the fight. And I was like, "Oh fuck, there's meat here, huh?" I think if I played it on like Proud or Critical, I would have a real good time with this as an action game. I think my issue was I just didn't trust it enough to want to make that investment.
And I think
that's going to take longer.
That's entirely fair. Everybody I know that plays these games, though, they play this. They play 2, 3, and further games like on Critical and Proud pretty regularly.
Oh yeah, I'm already kind of anticipating playing it. Frank says that's how it is in the original, is that the gummy ships you only have to do once.
Cool.
Because like whenever there was a hard fight, it was juicy. I had a lot of fun with them. And the end game bosses are just really delicious because they're all like, most of them are all like human sized.
Yeah, like there's a lot of really cool like human fights at the end of that game that look like, even as somebody like I had no idea what was going on, watching somebody stream it or let's play it. Like I look at the fights, and it's like that looks really cool and meaty because the dude's still getting his ass beat. So it's like, okay, it looks like they picked it up a little bit. So I'm a little excited to for Kingdom Hearts 2 at least.
Because the way they handle like the big bosses too is they just rely a lot more on the contextual button.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
The big bosses just tend to be more spectacle,
set PC.
And then they make set PC instead of being inscrutable and the hard part.
yeah.
So they make the hard bosses are like the fights with the nobodies where you're one-on-one with a person that is running around the field and often has a lot of the same abilities as you.
Yeah, like you've got to one-on-one that shit.
Energy.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Yep. It's good shit. So it's much meatier as an action game, even though the game itself is just dirt easy for almost all of it.
Yeah.
Just nothing. Like I didn't game over for like 15 hours.
There's no way to just raise the difficulty. That's unfortunate.
No. This is PS2. This is PS2 style. You are locked into the difficulty you've selected.
Did you ever play so bad that Mickey Mouse rescued you?
Yeah, actually. Nice. I was like, oh shit, a boss that's hard enough for me to lose on. Oh, never mind, Mickey's here.
Mickey revived. It's okay.
You can still turn him off. So one more big structure thing here is that the game does a bunch of Disney shit, and then it has like a really big 2-hour finale beat, and then it does a bunch of Disney shit, and then it does the actual finale. So instead of it just being the first game was just the beginning and the end was the story, and then this one kind of makes the Disney levels shorter and then doles them out a little better. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's good. That sounds like nice. A smarter way to pace this game.
So basically what I'm getting at is that this game was
John,
the suspense is killing me.
That was the most amazing.
I just disconnected for a second.
That's the best fucking.
What I'm trying to say is that this game was disconnect, hang up sound.
All right, what I said was that this game is absolutely buttery smooth. Went down just great the whole time. I just played it continuously, and
I can't believe you finished it already.
Yeah, like this. Like I expected this to be like a 2-week, 3-week project for you, and it literally ended up being 5 days or some shit.
John binges.
It was a full 30-hour game.
Like I've done games like that too. Like I binged the fuck out of Atelier Ryza, so I know. Like, and those two games are similar in length, so I've done it. It's just like something like Kingdom Hearts seems a lot more fucking meaty to me to try to do that with, I guess.
it worked out because I finished all the keyholes, which is you do all the Disney worlds.
Hell yeah, you finished those keyholes. You finished them right off.
Yeah. I plunged my keyblade into a lot of the
plunged it all right as deep as you could go. You went nub deep in them sons of bitches.
I didn't try.
You ever tried 2 keyholes?
I didn't try
at once?
fighting.
Yes.
And then you snap your fingers. Stupid.
Oh my fucking Christ. Oh my god.
So this was when I'm saying it was really smooth and I played it really quickly, what I'm saying is I was constantly having visceral fun playing this baby easy game for babies. And it was really fun and
yeah.
Hey Monty. Just jumped in. Good timing. So I was like having fun playing all the Disney levels, and I was having fun, and I was which wasn't true in the first game because it was kind of a nightmare.
So what?
And instead of it being like a chore to get through to get to the story bit, it was more just like, here are the fun video game levels you play in between the story bits. It's like, here are the 5 temples you have to go visit, and then you get back to the story. So it just felt like I'm just playing a fun video game. This is fine. Which is what Chain of Memories felt like, because that game had really fun, good bosses, and it doled out the story at a really nice pace. And then the ending goes fucking completely buck wild insane, and I cried a whole lot several times.
Name a fucking video game where that does not happen. Name one. Name one, John.
Oh.
The what? The John doesn't cry at the end of?
Yeah, like name one. Name one.
I'm actually struggling.
I just love the fact that, like...
Atelier Rorona.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But like, there's a difference, like, between welling up a little bit and then full-on sobbing.
Right.
This one, Oracle of Seasons, there's one I didn't cry at. Fuck that game. So, it just becomes like buck wild shonen finale, which is what it is in the mid game finale too. It's just like really, really good, stupid shonen, and I wasn't really expecting that. I think I was kind of dreading this one because my Kingdom Hearts friends are also my artsy, classy video game friends. And I finished the first game, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. It's really hard. It's really annoying to play, but the story is actually really nice. And then Chain of Memories is like, oh, these are really hard bosses and a very subtle story. So somehow the artsy friends that really like Kingdom Hearts don't like Kingdom Hearts 2 the most.
Of course.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be the boring one for normies that I have to get through to get to the cool shit, which is pretty much exactly what it is. But it turns out I'm big and dumb, and I love the big dumb normie shit.
Yeah, like
big dumb this one is
big dumb normie shit has a lot of appeal around here. Around these parts, we like big dumb and nerdy.
And I didn't parse out like, oh, this is a Tetsuya Nomura game. I've seen some stuff he's done. He gets really wild and big. And so when I'm playing this Kamiya finale, I'm like, oh, this is why everybody's really into Kingdom Hearts. Oh, fuck. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my brain is exploding.
I finally get it.
Wait, there's another form? Wait, there's another form? Wait, there's another form? It's so good. And then like, even like as I was playing it, there was just a miasma of Kingdom Hearts takes online. So the second you start talking about Kingdom Hearts miasma, you start absorbing, you start osmosing it in from other people.
Oh, good.
So the osmosis I was getting was like, well, yeah, it's good, but I was most interested in the Organization 13 and Roxas stuff, and the game doesn't really pay that off well.
Mm.
Um, and then I get to the ending, and it pays it off really explosively and really well. Like it doesn't like luxuriate in it, but it brings it home in a really good way. And I found out that part of that was because there was a very, very good boss fight and a very good cutscene that were apparently added to which was the first time I really started crying at the game, which were added for the final mix version.
Oh
Wow!
no.
Oops! Oopsie doopsie!
Oh, that might, yeah, like when you make 4 versions of your video game, you might stumble onto a stroke of genius in adding and adding things to said video game.
So it's Kingdom Hearts Finished Edition.
Yes, this is the one. This is the one you want to play.
I
Basically like it adds an extra layer to Roxas's story that it really, really needed, and that's really important because you spend the first 3 hours of the game with him. So it makes more sense that I understand why maybe people thought that the beginning was inessential if the original game maybe bungled paying that off a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the payoff at the very end is really good, but I think it still needed that extra kick that the final mix adds. It's also a really fucking hard fight. It's like weirdly hard. So I think I remember hearing at least one person complain like they added a fight that made it too hard. Which is fair if you're like an RPG player and you're jumping into this Devil May Cry game.
Yeah,
And
I
most
think that
30 hours of it is baby easy.
like, I wouldn't want to be that person that has to, like, satiate, like the RPG crowd who, I'm not saying RPGs are easy, but they're easier to interface with a lot of the times due to the fact that they're mostly menu driven and things like that. So when you pull out something like Kingdom Hearts and you give the player a cool button that lets them do cool stuff the whole time and then throw something weirdly fucking hard and roadblocky in their way, that's gotta feel real bad sometimes.
Although, to be fair, Kingdom Hearts 1 was pretty fucking hard. And then Chain of Memories was a miserable game for hell wizards that can see the code, like the Matrix. They can just go...
So,
like, oh, I understand these systems.
I remember somebody telling me their experience of playing Chain of Memories once, and then, like, halfway into the game, they finally understood what slates were. Yeah, it was like,
everybody has that moment.
Like, that's like, I've never played the game, but even I kind of gathered from having seen bits and pieces of it that, oh, that's probably the only way you're going to be actually able to do damage at some point, isn't it?
Oh, yep. It's basically with Chain of Memories, there are like 8 roadblock bosses, and one of them is time to learn slates. Or slites, or whatever. So, this game pays off the trilogy of the story really thoroughly in a way I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting like Organization 13's story to feel this resolved. I wasn't expecting to be this feel for a series with like 8 or 9 games. I wasn't expecting 2 to feel this like complete coming off the end of it, especially when 1 has a very ambiguous ending on purpose, and then Chain of Memories has a straight up this is not the ending.
Right.
So they just fucking nailed it in a really good way. And I definitely feel like I get Kingdom Hearts thoroughly now. And I'm excited for more of the weird cool shit, which is throughout. I feel like I want more of the weird stuff, and the next games are going to deliver that for me. But the shonen finale, Kingdom Hearts, treated me really right. So that's what I wanted to get across, because nobody got it across to me. Was that Kingdom Hearts is really stupid in a very fun way.
That's the thing.
And it gets really big and really stupid.
I think the issue that I've run into and hearing people talk about Kingdom Hearts and having talked to various fans is that they want it to sound smarter than it is, but it's kind of just big and dumb. And that's good, because that's how you
Yeah.
appeal to me. Is you tell me something is gigantic and stupid, I'm gonna be there. But don't sit there and try to convince me of how smart your video game is, or how winding and confusing the narrative is. Like, why would you tell somebody that? If I'm trying to get somebody into Xenosaga or Xenogears, I'm not gonna be sitting there and telling them, yeah, the story's really hard to get into and impenetrable, and there's a lot of proper noun usage, and you probably have to look up. That's not the part I'm gonna be telling people about. And I feel that in conversations with Kingdom Hearts fans, they like to tell me about the least appealing parts of their game, when the best stuff is, man, it's big and stupid and loud.
And it's big and stupid and loud in like that very nice, disciplined way where it's earning those big emotional beats, and it just goes hard for them. So like that's the, like, it doesn't go quite as big as like A Wonderful 101, but it combines that kind of spectacle with like a way stronger, simple story than I've gotten from like a Kamiya game, for instance. Like that was the big thing for me, was like, oh, you really fucking nailed this beat. There were like a bunch of moments at the end where I was just like wailed, like, I can't believe you did this to my heart. Fuck. Frank says it is a perfect game for teenagers, and that is very correct. It is such good teenager energy,
and a lot of people, a lot of fans caught this game when they were teenagers, so it makes a lot of sense. See, like when Kingdom Hearts came out, I was 22, so I was at a point in my life where I was
perfect age to not like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, that was
much
the point in time where, like, you're at that point in time where you're starting to want to kind of leave some of that teenage angst behind, but then you want to, but you don't realize that around the time you hit like 28, you're gonna just be like right back there, baby. but from like 20 to 26, you're trying to distance yourself from those kinds of things. So I see why Kingdom Hearts probably didn't initially grab me.
Yeah. I remember when that came out, like, people on Newgrounds were talking about it. They were doing like Simple and Clean collab and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? That's the Disney RPG. Why are you fucking taking the Disney shit seriously? Aren't we 20-year-olds here?
And look at us now.
And it doesn't help that that first game is pretty jank in a lot of ways. And that makes it harder to interface with.
Didn't even matter, though. I just saw it was a Disney RPG. I was just like, oh, just ignore. I do not see it.
That's another thing about me, is that I've kind of pushed this part of me down because it's too much ex-wife angst. But I'm like, there's a big Disney nerd in me.
Yeah.
Like, really fucking into that stuff, really fucking into all the movies that are featured in this. I was like, not even like just Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, but I'm like, it's Mulan World. I love Mulan. I love that movie.
I've never seen Mulan, actually.
Oh, there you go. Like, oh my god, Little Mermaid World. This makes me so happy.
Well, we know exactly why Little Mermaid World doing it for you.
No, but I also just really like the Little Mermaid movie as a story.
I mean, that was one of the first movies I ever saw in theater, so yeah.
It's very, yeah. So I was freaking out the whole time just on like a craft, because they put so much work into selling the Disney worlds, and so I was enraptured throughout with those two. I'm not an actual like either 12-year-old or reviewer in 2005 who thinks that the Disney shit is the point. No, it's the candy to go with the actual meat, which is the big fucking shonen stupid shit, which is great. So yeah, I really love this. It's really nice coming off of Xenogears, I think, because these stories are a lot smaller because most of it is the Disney stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like 8 hours of story, and then they just are really good and disciplined with it. So this was like a nice antidote to kind of the sprawl of that game. And it's also not a Murray either. It's very different from that RPG experience. So I had a blast. I'm very excited to dip more into the extended Kingdom Hearts world. I'm really excited for the next one because it's famously sad. 358 over 2 days.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about Roxas and Axel, who I am deeply invested in now.
Yeah. You can eat ice cream.
And I can play it portably. The ice cream. Oh my god, the ice cream! Polly.
Yes.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
When
Surprisingly,
you walk away, what have you said? Please!
Okay. So I've not been up to much. You know, one of those points in time where it's just like, okay, I've done a bunch of stuff and now I don't want to do anything anymore. But I did do something. So, a couple of weeks ago, something caught my eye. And it's a follow-up to sort of the last time we were here. I played a dungeon crawler called Labyrinth of Refrain. I bounced off of it, but after the fact, somebody, like, I did a few episodes of my Labyrinth of Toho 2 Let's Play, and our good pal Gesh86 said the name of a genre of a dungeon crawler that I'd never thought of before. He said auto battle dungeon crawler, and as soon as he said that, everything about Labyrinth of Refrain made sense. It's still not my thing. I don't really want to play it, but I was just like, okay, that's cool. So I was at peace with that, and then I finished my Etrian Odyssey 4 replay. It was a good time. Had a good time. Still in the dungeon crawler mood, and across my timeline comes Mary Skelter finale announced for the West.
Oh boy!
I was like, what? Finale? That's interesting. Like that. I mean, that kind of tells me there's some kind of prestige here. Like you are telling a complete narrative. Like that you've taken this game that I had some initial interest in, and then there was a second one, and now there's a third one, and you're calling it the finale, and you're finishing this series. That when things are complete stories and big complete things, my attention gets reignited a little bit. And Mary Skelter in and of itself was appealing to me because it's like this fantasy, like fairy tale inspired horror dungeon crawler kind of thing going on. And I played Mary Skelter Nightmares, I think it was maybe a year or two ago, and I kind of bounced off of it because I got to a point to where I just did not feel the game was giving me the tools or things necessary to proceed, and I just kind of felt brick-walled by everything. And what I was specifically running into, it was just like, it was an issue of communication, where the game had very early told me about class changes for your characters, which you can start doing mechanically at level 10, but you need resources to make the job changes. So you need a certain amount of each type of blood crystal to change to that job. And the issue that I was running into when I originally played the game, they were not giving me blood crystals to make these happen. So it was just like, am I not engaging with this game properly, or is the game not balanced? Because the issue also came up of, like, the only way you can shop in this game is you have to randomly run into a merchant in the dungeon. There is a general store where you can buy healing items at the main base, but you can only buy weapons and armor and accessories at the randomly generated merchant in the dungeon. So I felt like, oh, okay, this game's just badly designed, or I don't get it, whatever. So, with the announcement of finale, I was like, okay, I'm still interested in this thing because I still love these character designs. I love the setting. I want to know why everybody says this is a good dungeon crawler and why I'm the one that seems to not be getting it. This is a thing that happens to me a lot, is I always kind of like, I bounce off of something and then I have to fucking figure out why.
Yeah, you want to parse.
Yeah.
You're trying to... It's frustrating when you don't understand.
Yes.
You try to arrive at that understanding.
Yeah, because it's one of those cases where it's just like literally like I feel like everybody's like it's that Squidward, SpongeBob, and Patrick picture where I'm on the inside and everybody else is outside playing Mary Skelter and having a great time, and I'm just standing there like whatever.
Me and Kingdom Hearts.
Right. So what I did was I went back to the game and I was like, all right, I'm putting down the file that I had going, which was like 7 hours in. I'm going to start over. I'm just, fuck it.
Oh, wow.
Let's start completely over, start a new game, and I'm not going to worry about a single damn thing that this game throws at me. I'm not going to worry about job changing. I'm not going to fucking worry about weapon upgrading. I'm going to play this game until I run into a brick wall and see what happens. So I played the game. I invested skill points into the skills that I knew were useful. Like, okay, I'm fighting a bunch of enemies that are weak to fire right now, so let's just get some fire skills. Or, like, let's give this character extra hit points. Let's make sensible choices and not worry about the other big systems that the game keeps telling me about that I just can't engage with right now. So I get to a boss, and it's very hard, and it's right after they introduce the idea of job class changes again, and it's just like, oh, here we go, this is it, isn't it? Like, I'm just gonna be stuck here again. So I strategize my way around a little bit. Finally, I beat the boss. Like, I do it. Okay, all right, fine. Like, I do it. I still did it. So I was like, okay, so what happens now? What happens now? We go to the next area. First fight I get into, they start dropping the right blood crystals for job changes. Within 5 fights, I have enough to get everybody classed to something new.
It's like, just move the fucking tutorial.
They gave me the job change tutorial like hour 1. And I was not able to actually interface with it until hour 4 or 5. And that was like with me speeding through the dialogue this time because I already knew the story up to this point, so I just skipped all the cutscenes and did all of the dungeoning up to that point. So like I shaved a couple hours off, but that's still a long time of like from tutorial to actual implementation.
Yeah.
So I'm back to enjoying the game again. Like the story starts picking up, like the aesthetic is still like, that's the hook, like, right? Like it's awesome looking. Like I love these characters. It's a great setting. The dungeons are progressively like getting more twisty, turny, and puzzly. I'll have you know, I solved 3 block pushing puzzles.
Oh my god.
3 of them.
Fuck yeah, Polly.
Look at me. Look at me.
Look at you.
Super fucking genius right here.
Are they?
Hell yeah.
Do they involve blood in any way?
No. They involve shooting an arrow. They're like pillars that like they have an arrow that tells you like what cardinal direction they shoot when an arrow passes through it. So it's one of those type of puzzles where you've got to like line them up and then shoot an arrow through fire, and then it goes through all of the pillars.
Nice.
So it's just like I did those. The combat, it's engaging enough. It's a dungeon crawler. Like basically the idea of a lot of dungeon crawlers comes down to like, you know, with normal mook fights, you want to find ways to just clear those as quickly as possible with as few resources as possible. Because you get to the boss fights, and that's kind of where the big things is. And with this game especially, with like the bosses appearing at random and chasing you around and being completely unbeatable until a certain part, like until you destroy the core in the dungeon. Like that's still like a cool idea. I still think that like the way that each character has her own unique ability within the dungeon to manipulate it with like one can shoot arrows, one places bombs, one can run quick for 10 seconds because you need to like get past collapsing bridges and shit. It's still doing a lot of really cool shit with all that. So it's like, yeah, like this is like, it's low budget, it's Idea Factory, like it's got cheesecake horniness all over the place, and it won me back. I'm here. I did it. Like I'm back on the Mary Skelter train. We're still playing. We're having a good time.
That's so nice. That's so nice.
There
This is not the auto battle one, right?
No. Mary Skelter is very much.
This is the regular dungeon crawler.
Yeah, this is a dungeon crawler very similar to, you know, like Etrian Odyssey, where you like the skills that your characters get really fucking matter. Like it's not a bunch of passives that you get and then you press the auto battle button. You're really actually building each character and all that fun stuff. So
was your stream of Mary Skelter, was that in the first phase or the second phase?
Second phase. It was where I'd come around. Like I was starting. Like I streamed it when I was just getting to the point to where I could do job changes, and I was starting to see the potential of characters opening up a lot more. Like I finally got a character that could like completely nuke battles. It was like oh, it finally happened. I've reached the moment where I can play this game and like put on like a YouTube video or a stream and play it and make it and play around in fun little mazes. So I'm still having a good time with this video game. Like I'm not gonna say Idea Factory redeemed themselves, because this is like this game came out in 2016. So
before the fall.
Yeah, this was before the fall. But but Mary Skelter is not immune to Idea Factory stupidity. It had to happen at some point.
There's something about the sequel.
Oh boy! So the chronology of this game is fucking wild, and it's got me kind of to a point to where it's just like, do I need to change what I'm doing here? So, okay.
Do you mean in the game or in like a general life sense?
Both, really. It's So, Mary Skelter 2 is now apparently the first game in the series. Chronologically.
Okay.
So...
Excellent. It's like Lufia.
Mary Skelter 1 is now a DLC whose content gets changed to actual canon when you finish Mary Skelter 2, then go play Mary Skelter 1. So, this series has a real fucked up release history.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And it makes it really hard to just have one easy, convenient place to play it. So let me break it down for you. This game was originally released...
We always want to start with the first one.
Mary Skelter Nightmares was originally released in 2016 on the Vita. Then, 2 years later, Mary Skelter 2 was released on the PS4 and Switch. Mary Skelter 1, like I said, then became DLC for Mary Skelter 2, but the PS4 version was released in Japan only. Mary Skelter 1 PC releases, and it's the Vita version.
Oh my god, it's so much worse.
So do you see where the problem is starting to arise?
So you're playing the version of the game that still thinks it's the first game.
I'm playing the version of the game whose events are no longer canon and do not line up with what the actual chronology is now.
Oh, and they didn't release Mary Skelter 2 PS4 in America.
Nope. So Mary Skelter 2's US release is Switch only, and you could only get physical copies for a week. Because for some reason... Despite Idea Factory and Compile Heart distributing all of their own games physically for fucking years, they used fucking shitty bullshit limited run.
Oh, this is why you hate them. This is why you've really started yelling about them lately.
So nobody got this game anywhere close to its release date. A bunch of people probably didn't even get their copies at all, and nobody at and nobody at their customer service ever answered, because they never do. And you literally just can't buy it now. You can only get it digitally. Wave of the fucking future, right? So like, now I've got this dilemma. It's like, okay, do I put the brakes on what I'm doing right now and go buy Mary Skelter 2 on Switch, play that, then play Mary Skelter 1,
Ugh.
then play Finale? Because
you've started the first one twice now.
But it's apparently they also made a lot of quality of life decisions.
Oh my god!
With Mary Skelter 1, where they shrunk the size of some of the maps because they're kind of ridiculous. I like a big winding map, but they kind of get like Mary Skelter's maps have a lot of like just big rooms that are just squares of empty space. And the kind of like, and you're playing a dungeon crawler and you're filling out the auto map. You're obvious, like you've seen me play Labyrinth of Toho 2. I got to touch every tile. So if it's just like big empty rooms, like so they fix that in the Switch version of the first game by just making new maps. And I don't think that any one of them goes over 25 by 25 tiles, where there are maps in Nightmares on PC and Vita that go up to 100 by 100. The biggest I've seen so far is 60 by 60, and those are mammoth already. So knowing that there are like 100 by 100 maps in my future is just like, okay, maybe I'm okay looking at 2. But here's another the capper. The capper to all this is Mary Skelter Finale is releasing on PS4 and Switch in the US.
Yeah.
But, so the PS4 is just only going to have Mary Skelter Finale.
Oh, right. It doesn't actually have the first game either.
No! So, but, like, their only concession here, and the only thing that they could think to do, is that Mary Skelter Finale is going to have all the cutscenes from 1 and 2. Just baked into the game that you can just go press a button and read a visual novel for a few hours.
Oh my god.
They have fucked up like the way that this game is released in the way that this series is presented in such a way that it's just like I don't like, how do you I could not, like, as somebody who like kind of wants to play them, I'm perplexed.
Yeah.
It's not as bad in Japan, because then you could just, like, for PlayStation you could just do Vita.
Do the PS4 versions.
Or, like, the first game was on Vita and more people there had a Vita.
Yeah.
It wasn't so obscure.
Sure.
So you could just do Vita, PS4, and then all three are on Switch, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But they really, really tried to bury 2 in the West.
Yeah.
No PS4 release, Nintendo Switch physical limited run games only. Just kill the franchise at that point. Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
It literally feels like somebody wanted to take this series out back and put a bullet in its head.
And then no PC version.
Yeah, no PC version of 2.
They fucked up on all 3 fronts.
Yeah, like Ghostlight, who did the port. Like Idea Factory, Compile Heart didn't even do the port of the first game. It was done by Ghostlight. They just licensed it. Like it's not even attributed.
Oh, really?
It's not even attributed to Idea Factory. They're listed as the developer, but they are not the publisher.
Can you do that? Mm-hmm. Can you just go, hey, we'll just buy this from you for a PC version?
That's apparently what happened. Like, because as far as I know, they contacted Idea Factory to do this. But they have also made it clear, like, we don't have Mary Skelter 2. Like, they like Ghostlight have been pretty upfront about saying, we don't have it. So, like, I can't just, like, I'm stuck, because, like, part of me is just really like, man, I should probably just get to, play 2, 1, and then Finale, and just make that, like, a saga.
Finish 1.
It's, but like, the ending that I get on this version, like, apparently, like, the entire last 2 chapters are changed.
Oh my god.
Like, it doesn't sound like, this does not sound like insignificant, we changed a few lines of dialogue in the ending. This is very like, no, we just kind of retconned a lot of the first game when we made the second one.
Oh my god.
It sounds like a fucking disaster.
Okay, I think here's my solution. You finish 1, you play 2 on Switch, you buy 3 on PS4, and then you watch the cutscenes from 1 before starting it.
I think that might be the smart play.
Uh-huh. How many hours are you into 1 right now?
Like 12.
Okay.
But you've played a lot of that twice.
Okay.
Already. There's also like the first
I
7
feel
hours.
like you could, yeah, but now you can just you could just put it down, take a beat, buy 2,
See,
play 2,
this
and
is
then
what
you're
I'm
not going to
thinking.
want to jump right, and you're not going to want to jump right back into 1 anyway. So it's
No.
okay that you'll be revisiting some of that material again. It's going to be faster and smoother because of all those quality of life additions.
John, you were the most like play the original version ever. Now Kingdom Hearts has you being like play the remaster.
Well, but I think
Well,
in this
obviously,
case,
because the Remax of 2 is the good one.
like in this case in particular, that makes sense because that's what Finale is assuming now. Like Mary Skelter 2 rewrote Mary Skelter 1 because that's the new canon going into Mary Skelter Finale.
This is worse than Neptunia.
Yeah, but it's just like, this isn't like alternate universes. This is just, it's the same universe, and he just rewrote a big gob of it for no fucking reason.
It's like how Neptunia 1 isn't canon to the other games, but it's fine because it's separate. This one, they just erased the original and kind of changed it a bit. Or a lot.
Mary Skelter 2 does not have a Wikipedia page.
Nope.
Only the first one has
Only
a
the
Wikipedia
first one
page.
does.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen so many like popular things where like the latest entry doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Like they seem to be really slacking.
Also, one of the main characters in Mary Skelter 2 is Little Mermaid.
Okay, great.
There you go. There you go.
Holly, you should play Mary Skelter 2.
Yeah, that's his sign, right?
That's what I think.
You know what blew my mind watching your stream of this?
What?
That the main girl's name isn't fucking Mary.
You know, that got me for the longest fucking time. Because I thought it was. Like, so when I played the game the first time and her name is Alice, I'm like, what? Well, where's Mary? I have played this game now for a total of like 19 hours and I have not seen hide or hair of Mary. It's called like Jack's gun is called the Mary gun. I don't know why.
Oh, jeez. This is only answered in the remake of 1.
And see, that's the thing.
This is like when I played Nier. I played Nier 1 and I was like, who's Nier? And then it turns out that Nier is the character that you name at the start of the story.
Yep.
But they don't fill in the name on the name select screen. So you have no way of knowing that he's supposed to be Nier.
Oh,
and then
no.
they name the game Nier.
That's
Luca
weird.
does that too.
Yeah.
Why do you do that? If you're going to name the game after the character, then don't let me name the character.
Yeah, Alice not being Mary was something that, like, it took me a weird amount of time to get over. It was like, no, I want you to be Mary.
I mean, you just see girl on box of game, and game
And
is
the-
called Mary Skelter.
Mary
and you just
Skelter,
draw
right?
out of something.
Like, it's got to be named after her. That's Miss Mary Skelter.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my god, Zelaz in the chat says, Mary Skelter 2 is listed on VNDB as an alternate retelling of 1. What does that mean?
Like I said, it gets fucking wild. It's buck wild because it's like, it's a prequel, but also some parts of it happen at the same time.
Oh, juicy.
It's
Yes.
so fucking weird. Like, why did you do this?
I
Play
mentioned
Mary Skelter 2, Rise of the Sinistrals.
I mentioned earlier companies like licensing out games to release on PC, and Zelaz mentions that's kind of what happened in China for
Falcom in China, yeah.
There's
that's funny.
the one coming up, Trails of Azure. Like the PC version is only in China because some other company just made it, and that's the one. And that's the one Geofront is trying to localize.
Yeah.
So we're all gonna have to get like VPNs to buy it or something.
Oh no.
Because Zero was the last one they put on DL site.
Yep.
Yep.
Ugh. Lordy. Video game. Like, what are... Man. Yeah, like...
I think, actually, I was going to say something, but considering, like, Kingdom Hearts, like, adding in critical stuff for the Roxas storyline in a semi-sequel, like, remake, and then Mary Skelter 1, like, being undone by the sequel. Video games are fucking crazy. That's a real 1-2 combo right there.
Yeah, it's like we didn't come into this show thinking we'd have some thematic through line because nobody knew how stupid Mary Skelter got. So yeah, now it's just like, man, my brain. Every time I launch the game now, though, it's just like, I don't know if I should still keep doing this.
Am I compromising my experience of the Mary Skelter lore by continuing on this version?
I mean,
Right?
everyone
I'm not
else,
sure.
true fans played 1 first because it's the first one.
That's so wild.
But what if the ending is so much better on the new one? Who can
That's
say?
apparently the case, though. That's apparently the fucking case.
Oh, let's go buy the Switch version. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's likely what this
You
is
need.
gonna end up being, and the fact that like being on Switch, it'd be easier to just sit there and kind of poke around at it and get back to where I was because it's a portable too. But it's so like this chronology is so stupid.
It's just gonna eat. I'm changing my answer. It's just gonna keep eating away at you. Just get the Switch version of 2. And
yeah,
1.
I'm just gonna fucking.
And besides,
Pull the
you
Band-Aid
can play a
off.
bunch of Mary. You can play a bunch of Mary Skelter 2, and if you change your mind, you can just go back to 1. It'll still be there for you.
I don't think we
Got nothing to lose.
I don't think John knows the other crazy part is that you have to beat 2 on Switch in order to unlock 1, I think.
No, it's
Oh, I know that. Don't worry. I picked that up on
you
that.
don't have to beat it. You
Oh.
can just download and unlock, and it'll appear on like it's not even like a separate game. It's just like it's just on the menu. Play Mary Skelter 1 or 2, and then the game's like, you want the best experience, you should probably play 2 first.
Because it's the first one now.
Because it's the first one now. Despite that,
So-
2 on the box.
So to be clear, you are playing 2 first, though. That's the idea. Is that you either continue on the original Vita version or you start with 2 and then play the remade one.
Yeah.
Okay. I follow this completely. This is very clear.
Yeah, it's very clear. It's just very stupid.
How did you guys end up at this is the best conclusion to how to handle this?
Like, what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to pump the brakes on the PC version and wait for Mary Skelter 2 to go on sale.
Yeah.
Because Idea Factory games go on sale all the time, even on the eShop. So I'll probably... Because even Tom said he grabbed 2 for like $12. So...
Jeez.
So it'll go on sale at some point, and then I'll just kind of reinvest myself. Like, I think I'm probably at the tail end of needing to dive into dungeon crawlers and needing to get my head into something else soon anyway, so...
The real dark tragedy of this is in like 3 months it goes on sale, you buy it, and you hate 2.
Oh, man. That would suck. Don't jinx it. 2 looks like...
See,
from talking to people, though, 2 sounds like an improvement over the first one in a lot of ways.
Is Finale out?
No, it's coming out in the fall.
Okay. Hopefully people...
You're gonna-
is it
you're
out
gonna
in
be caught
Japan?
up.
It's out in Japan already.
Do you know if it has good word of mouth or any
Yes,
buzz around
it does. It does.
Okay, good.
So I already pre-ordered it just in case. Like they
They made 10,000 PS4 copies.
like it was only like $40, so it's like whatever. I'll just out of sight, out of mind. I pre-ordered a PS4 version. So
Why are they not putting 2 out on PS4? God damn it.
it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like it's just so stupid. Like
You'll note how I put...
I-
Rhett took a minute to get on board, but I knew exactly what your soul was calling for. Your soul wanted to drop it and then play Mary Skelter 2.
yeah, probably.
When you said that the ending of 1 is probably
I could
better than the
feel that.
remake, I was just like, fine.
Fine. Apparently, like the only thing that I've been able to dig up about Mary Skelter 4 on PS4 is, or Mary Skelter 2 on PS4 is that it was released during Sony's big "we're censoring everything,"
Oh.
and Idea Factory just said straight up that they're not releasing censored games in the West. So the Switch version is not censored. So that may be the case of like maybe the PS4 version of 2 and 1 remake are censored, and that's why they didn't release it. That's the only other thing I can think of.
I guess.
But it doesn't.
Well, thank God the blood bathing game is going to be completely uncompromised in the version you play.
Thank Christ. Need to get your rocks off to something. And if cute girl, and if cute,
we'll help.
and if cute girls moaning awkwardly at you while you rub blood on them doesn't get you going, I don't know what will.
Hey, was there any fucked up shit in the Vita version? Because I know Vita games have done things like touch the screen to rub the blood.
Yeah, like that's why that system
That's what it is.
Yeah, like that's literally what it is rub blood on them.
Oh, God.
Like I said, it's Idea Factory. It's got cheesecake horniness. You just expect it, and whatever. It's there. It's gonna be there. That's their MO. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. So that's where we're at. On touch blood, get moan. There you go. I did one of them at the end of the stream just to kind of make everybody feel awkward. It was a great moment.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed
I'm like
your vibe of being like.
I've been watching the stream
You're just doing it like, I hate this.
It's just, I'm not like, look, I don't care that it's there. It's fine, whatever. But I'm not super into it.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying, Rhett?
I've been watching that stream on lunch breaks at work, and I'm right at the end. I didn't know that was coming up good.
Yep, you're going to get to see me rub a blood maiden down with some...
I swear to God, I said that as a joke, and you're like, yep, that's the actual mechanic. I'm like, fuck, of course it is.
Like I said, I've grown up a bit. I'm over it being there, like, whatever. And, like, the game only makes you do it once. Because it is a mechanic that when you purify a blood maiden like that, you get, like... a stat bonus the next time you go into the dungeon. It's a temporary stat bonus. So, and then the next time you do it, you don't have to play the game anymore. You can just pay the blood cost to do it.
Oh.
So you don't have to do it every time.
To be clear, he's still doing it.
You can still do it. Yeah, he's still doing it.
But you're still absolutely engaging.
Yeah. Still, man, what a mechanic, though, right? Just, the way to calm her down, I just rub my blood all over her. Yeah. This is sexy. 5-minute break?
I feel like there's a way to do that I would really resonate with. And
yeah, I know, right?
Was not resonating.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I think you could make that sexy in some way, and maybe the game's not doing it. Maybe the game needs to do a little something more. Maybe if they didn't sound so weird. That's the thing with these kind of weird mini games, right? Is that the girl never sounds into it, but if maybe she was into it, because the whole point of the Blood Skelter mode is that they've gone crazy, they're bloodthirsty. It's let's do it. If they were just totally into it, it might actually work as a horny thing. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can kind of picture exactly how it sounds now.
Yeah,
just
it's real awkward and just she clearly doesn't.
Anime girls, squealing.
Yeah, it's not comfy, I guess. If they made it just something that felt more consensual and just maybe something the characters were enjoying. Fine, be horny, just embrace it. Don't make it awkward. The girl not being into it is not going to get me there. Okay.
I think for the audience. Maybe it is.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird and I just think, hey, maybe my partner should be enjoying this act. Oh.
This got so nuanced.
What did you
Sorry.
Why not? We are a podcast. We are mature enough to cover many, many topics to many degrees. And horniness involving blood and consent is definitely one of those topics that we are mature enough to discuss.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing that anybody can say about our podcast and has been saying for years. Is that we are mature enough to talk about blood and horniness.
Exactly. That's our calling card right there.
Zella saying, I'm not taking notes right now for my smut. Excellent. I heard just a hint of my echo, and I heard my own wheezing.
Your
cackle.
own wheeze.
All right, let's take a break.
All right, we'll be right back, people.
Yep. didn't actually go anywhere. I just moved character bits.
Oh, should have used the butt room.
I mean, I did before the podcast. I'm still good.
Okay, good. We'll get you out of here before 9. Don't you worry.
I mean, if I only have the last segment, then yeah, easy.
Okay. I think that's all we have, isn't it?
That's what we kind of figured earlier.
Okay.
Is that you just had Mary Skelter and John just had Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Yep, that's my only thing.
All right, so
Okay.
I guess.
Oh,
Just,
Echo.
Echo!
Echo.
Yeah.
It's just fun to
Fixed.
say.
It's fun every time. I use that as the cold open
It's
for the last
fine.
episode. When we just absolutely decimated John's poor speakers.
Just wait 10 years, and then they'll get the Mary Skelter, the Story So Far collection.
Oh my
No,
god.
let's put them all lined up neatly
Mary
in a row.
Skelter,
Except,
Mary Skelter 2.8 final mix.
Oh no, that's what 1 is though. Mary Skelter 1.9 final mix. That's the new version. Why did they have to go and announce finale? This would have never happened. This would have never happened.
You were just gonna play 1 and be done.
No, I wouldn't have even went back to 1 is the thing. That's what made me go back. It's like, yeah, like I was kind of like, I finished Etrian 4, and I was like, okay, I'm probably done with my little, my dungeon crawler
Stint.
thing now. And then literally a day later, Mary Skelter 2 announced or Mary Skelter finale announced for the West. Fuck, what? They got a story that's worth telling? No!
The true question is, do they?
Don't do this to me. I have to believe there's something there worth telling because these character designs are good.
Just like the hot girls.
you
But
just
aren't
have
named
to
Mary.
believe sometimes.
Pardon?
You just gotta believe.
Yeah, you just gotta believe in the... Yeah.
Honestly, that's such a hard thing for me sometimes where it's like when I first played Undertale, I didn't really believe in it until right before the end.
Yeah! I think that I was kind of there.
And then I'm fighting the last boss and I go, actually, this is the best game ever made, huh? Fuck.
Man, it's almost like this is going to be game of the decade in a few years.
That was literally me in the last 2 hours of the third game in this series I'm playing. It's
all coming together. See, that's where it's going to happen. The end of Mary Skelter 3, it's all going to make sense. It's all going to click.
So, yeah.
This is the greatest thing ever.
God, that's fucking funny.
There definitely is trusting that the media you're consuming will turn out to be good is so hard sometimes.
It can, especially when you have to invest a lot of hours
Yeah.
into that media.
And then if it doesn't pay out, you're just going to feel so fucking awful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the case. It's just man,
Okay.
at least with okay, if I don't like Mary Skelter 2 and I don't want to replay 1, I can I can get finale, read the visual novel stuff, and hope the third one's good.
Oh. So you still wouldn't be out. You would just do my original plan of rereading one story.
Yeah. So
They're very good character designs, Rat.
They-
You have to
No, I
understand.
saw the stream. They're very good. I'm like, damn.
they've got every character's got 8 different outfits. It's great.
Yeah, you're showing these outfits. You've got Alice as a paladin, very good, snappy look.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went to the dungeon part, and I just my eyes glazed over.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
That's dungeon crawlers.
I appreciate that you're into these. I see you moving around that grid, and I'm just like, nope, I could not play this.
I think that it's definitely systems and the minutia of those systems I do get into, but I think that there's just something really satisfying in the same way of a lot of people play games like Symphony of the Night and Super Metroid where you like seeing those blue squares light up. A part of me
really like seeing those squares.
a part of my brain really likes watching those squares populate on an auto map, and there's something.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's just something really
Your brain,
satisfying about it.
I mean, it's kind of brain candy comfort food of just filling in a map.
Yep. Killing Heartless.
Yep.
Filling in maps. Everybody's just... You hit that groove where you're just doing something in a video game that feels good.
Yeah.
And you can just do it for days and days and keep having fun.
Literally everything else I want to talk about has a transition here, and I'm not sure which one to go with first.
Well, I'll let you decide, Rhett.
Okay, so I've got 3 smaller things.
Okay.
We're going to kind of bang through, and
Okay.
they all have good transitions.
All right.
On the subject of Idea Factory. So the other day I noted that a whole lot of big games were coming to Steam at the end of March.
Indeed you did.
One of such was Neptunia Virtual Stars.
Oh my god, you played this?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Okay.
The other day I said I had a bit for the podcast. Don't let me forget. I didn't forget.
Okay.
We're gonna play a little. We're gonna play a little game here.
Okay.
Neptunia Virtual Stars came out on PS4 earlier in March. I think like March 3rd or 4th. It came out on Steam March 29th. The question I'm proposing to both of you is how many reviews does it have on Steam?
16.
Okay, John.
One more time. Neptunia Virtual Stars?
Yeah, the newest game in the series.
I'm gonna go with 9.
Polly wins. It has 139.
139?
Okay.
I mean, it's not a completely dead franchise. Jesus.
I don't know, like this game seems to have
139 is a lot.
of all of the Neptunia games that I've seen, because I visited the forum for this one for some laughs. This is the one that seemed to be causing the most friction because it doesn't have a dub, and people are fucking mad about it.
Then there's activity in the forums. Like people are paying attention to the reviews.
Sure.
Like 139, I think is awful for a company the size of Idea Factory.
Yeah,
but like for like a super small indie game, it would be really good. But I think it's pretty bad for a Neptunia game.
yeah.
But okay, so
Michael has
so
760.
yeah.
Just as a point of comparison.
Okay.
I was looking.
Well, I'm sure you can find
Yeah.
a whole lot of games with way more than 139.
Yep.
Okay, so Polly has 1 point.
Okay.
What do you think the scores of those reviews are? Like X% of the 100 X% of the 139 user reviews for this game are positive and or negative. Like what percent is positive?
45.
I'm gonna go with 55% positive.
Well, it's a tie because it's 50%.
Perfect.
Well, by Price is Right rules, I didn't go over, so I win. Point's mine. Give me the point.
Give me the point.
Give me the fuck, Brett. Give me the fucking point. Give me the fucking point. Give me the point right now.
Sorry, John.
Wait, what? That 45 to 50. Wait, why does Polly get the point?
Because it's by Price is Right rules, I didn't go over.
I didn't actually say Price is Right rules because I thought that would be really mean with only 2 people.
I'm just being a dick.
I'm saying it's 1-0 because it's or it's 2-1. It's a tie.
Right. I should have said 46.
Yeah. Again, that's why Price is Right rules are no fun with 2 people.
Yeah, you can just always guess one more.
Okay, so I was just gonna do Neptunia to dunk on it. I was originally just gonna dunk on Neptunia for this bit, and then I realized there's another game that came out on Steam.
Oh, good.
Balan Wonderworld.
Oh no! Oh boy.
Okay, so this game is not Steam exclusive. It did come out on at least Switch and PS4 and probably Xbox. But I'm just curious, how well do you think the Switch or the Steam version is doing? How many reviews does Balan Wonderworld have after about a week?
710.
Okay, going much higher this time.
It's Square Enix released this, so
yeah, true.
I'm gonna guess 709.
Wait, so what was Polly's guess?
710.
I want to get.
So wait,
you went a point.
So you went 1 under.
Yeah.
Okay, John wins.
I went 1 under.
John wins because it has 6.5 65.
Whoa!
It has half as many as Neptunia.
See, that's about where. That's closer to what I thought the Neptunia one would be.
Yeah,
that's like a lower for a large scale release for me.
This is a $60 game with a demo that was horrendous.
Oh my god!
Oh.
And do we care about how? Do we care about the actual review scores?
We'll do it.
I'm gonna say,
Okay. There's only 65 reviews.
23% positive.
Woof, that's not a lot of faith there.
I'm gonna say 30. I'm gonna say 45% positive.
Okay, John wins this one because it's actually 66% positive.
Wow, that's shocking.
Okay.
Remember, these are people that paid
66 is still. Yeah.
These are people that paid $60 for this game. They are invested in getting their money's worth out of it.
Yeah, you probably got a point.
And
Man,
still,
yeah.
And still, a third of them were like, actually, fuck
this.
Yeah, not some.
All right, 2-1. Is that it?
That's
that was
it.
the end. I lost.
Well, because of that darn tie.
John, you're always the winner in my heart.
Oh, wait.
Aww.
I guess it was... No, I think John got both of the
Yeah, I think
ones.
John got both of the last two right.
I think John actually wins.
Yeah.
Or
there
the
were,
tie.
so
There were 4.
you picked 4 questions.
Anyway.
All right, good.
So we get to spin the wheel now, or what?
Okay, so the other transition.
Thank you for the good bit, Paul.
Yes, that was very good.
Thank you.
I was just shocked when I saw that Balan Wonderland World had even less reviews.
That shocks me.
Yeah, because you go to, like, obviously this is a super popular game, but like Binding of Isaac has like 5,000 reviews in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
because it just had that expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll look up the game I was playing. Hold on a second. So the game I'm playing right now is Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth, Record of Lotus War.
Mm-hmm.
That has 693 reviews in the last 2 weeks.
Wow,
Like a little bit better than.
Yeah, a little bit better than both.
Yeah, and then again, since this was early access, in total it has 2,529.
Oh wow,
like way bigger. So you were mentioning about like the good feeling of filling in squares in a map, like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Guess what this?
Yo, good transition. Let's go.
Guess what this game is?
Let's do it.
Yo, I bet it is a game where you run and jump around various platforming challenges, and while you do so, an auto map fills in. And sometimes to get to other pieces of that auto map, you probably need abilities gained from different parts of that auto map.
There's a whole lot of.
If they only had an easy, short way to describe that fucking genre of game.
Kind of an exploratory platformer similar to Castlevania.
Of course.
Yeah. This game... So I haven't played Castlevania Symphony of the Night since it came out. Mm-hmm. This game, as far as I can tell, really wants to be Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
The pacing of it looks so, like, deliberate. Like, that character's movement is just like, yo, this is Alucard, but with boobies.
Movement, the animation...
Yeah.
Just the melee feel. It does seem very, very like... But then also maybe a little too inspired when it's like, hey, here's a really long room that's kind of a flat hallway.
Oh,
man.
Man.
And there's just there's the same enemy like 4 times.
And Luna Knights very specifically avoided that.
Yeah. So, like, I'm going to be honest. I'm not loving this game. I like it. I'm going to finish it, obviously. I'm on...
Sure.
It's also kind of weirdly structured in that it has stages. That's kind of part of the early access thing. Like, because even though it is a Metroidvania, like, it is super obvious in that, like, you're confined to stage 1 at the start, and then you beat the boss, and it comes up, now you're in stage 2, and you're in a whole new area.
That's...
And you can't... Like, it is actually one big map, though.
Yeah, it's
like,
still one big map.
It's just more obvious that, like, hey, everything you need is going to be in this area right now. Like, you go to... And then you go to the third area, stage 3, and then... Like, there are parts where you'll kind of bounce back into stage 1 or 2, and like, oh, now you can get up here and get a power-up. Because because you have the double jump now, or you have some other ability.
But it's kind of like you're not choosing to go back there. The game just guides you back there.
No, like those are totally optional.
Okay.
Like
okay.
the way forward is always going to be entirely confined in stage 3, and then you go to stage 4, and the way forward is entirely confined in stage 4. But you might have a couple alternate paths back to previous areas to do some. It's very kind of straightforward like that. The map is very dense, but it's also very kind of big with, again, a lot of long hallways. And a lot of, like, very long vertical hallways.
See, the thing is, like, Luna Nights, it had a gimmick that facilitated actual level design, whereas this is very... Oh, man. It's a little...
This is very... It's very traditional, I think is how I would say it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not trying to be some crazy thing. And what's a little frustrating is that it actually does have some mechanics that I think are really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it kind of has the... What do you call it? Like, the Ikaruga thing of, like... You have 2 different elements and their attacks that you'll be immune to them. Like, you have a wind and a fire element.
Oh, okay.
And some of the bosses will have, like, one attack that's like, okay, now I'm going to shoot a whole bunch of blue and orange at the same time. You have to know which color you're immune to at the same time. So it's, like, kind of doing that, the whole, like, dual dimension thing. But it doesn't, like, make that an emphasis at all in the platforming. And when you think about how, you know, kind of buck wild they went with the time stuff in Luna Nights, like, this feels like kind of a step back from that, because they just took that one mechanic and just did everything they fucking could with.
Yeah.
But again, that game also felt more like action platforming stages.
Yeah,
because,
like, that game really wasn't trying to be... It wasn't leaning into its, like, explory platformer stuff so much as it was just really difficult platforming challenges around this really cool time gimmick.
Like, that game was kind of funny because every time you would come to a fork in the road, there would be just the one path that's the correct one.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you would go down the one that's the wrong one and get to a dead end and be like, oh, I need to go down the other one first to get the key or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it was super kind of telegraphed like that. Whereas in this, like, you do have alternate paths, and again, they're all confined to the one stage you're on generally, but there's a lot of points where I'm looking at the map going like, okay, which blue square haven't I filled in? Where's the way forward? Like, it does have more exploratory maze elements in it, but then it's a lot of, like, kind of fighting the same enemies for that
side view dungeon crawler.
There you go.
Dungeon crawler platformer.
Yeah.
The side view dungeon crawler. I like that. Filling in squares. The game's about filling in squares. Doesn't make sense.
The filling in the squares does still feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's like reaching in a bag of Doritos, good, man.
Yeah. Because there was one part where I'm like, you could see on the map there were, like, 3 rooms that I had been encircled around, and there was just this 3 empty space in the middle of the map, and I'm like, well, there's obviously something there. So I just went back to and, like, went all around, and then I found a fake wall, and I'm like, yes,
nice.
There's a 10 health upgrade in there. So, like, it's good.
That's good shit.
I think the bosses maybe feel a little overly speedy and kind of sloppy because of that. It's just really hard to not think about Hollow Knight all the time when playing games like this now.
It really is, even though, like I said, I played Blaster Master Zero and had a pretty good time with it.
Yeah.
Because, getting out of that mindset is really hard, though.
Especially the closer it gets to trying
to be
that.
Yeah.
Because Blaster Master probably, like, when the bosses are, like, the whole top-down, on-foot thing, like, it's not Hollow Knight.
No, it's not Hollow Knight anymore, no.
But when this game is having, like, a rival fight, and it's the second time I fought her.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about Hornet the whole time.
See, like, I saw somebody at, I think it's Puritas, who you're talking about.
Yeah. It's so similar to the Hornet fight.
Yeah.
She's even, like, throwing grappling hooks.
She's throwing grappling hooks. Yeah, like, I literally mentioned that when I saw After 5 streaming it. I was like, this just reminds me of Hornet.
Yeah, it's really kind of funny. So, like, there's some cool bosses, but, like, the difficulty balance feels maybe a little off at times.
And do you think that's like just because, like, they're following Symphony of the Night's design? Because that game was piss easy. Do you think it was just because they were following that?
as far as the bosses, I have no idea because the bosses are like they're pretty tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do kind of have to learn the patterns a bit and like know which attacks you're going to be able to like absorb with the elements.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't remember Symphony of the Night like even having bosses basically because I played that like over 20 years
yeah,
ago.
like that's not a game that I revisit. I know people fucking love it, but I'm just like that game bores me to tears now.
I don't think this game has like the whole and then there's the whole second half because of how they released it.
God, please don't
like
get
it
into
would
that.
It would be kind of funny if you beat stage 6 and the whole thing just flips upside down and you have to play it again.
And for some weird reason, you've got to put cans in trash cans.
They don't. Yeah, see, like Luda Knights had a sense of humor.
Yeah,
I think because this is. I mean,
Lodos War is very serious, high fantasy anime. It's very it takes itself very seriously. Whereas like with Toho, like they were able to have a lot of fun because that world is open to a lot of comedy.
Mm-hmm. I think this is actually like some officially licensed prequel to a new Lodos War manga.
Oh wow!
And I think because of that, it's kind of restricted in how things have to be structured.
Gotcha.
Whereas, like with Toho, you make a fan game and you give it to Zune, and he goes, "Okay."
Yeah, it's fine.
Like it's not. There's no committees of approval and stuff, and like red tape to get through.
No, like you literally have. Like we all have a license to make a Toho fan game now.
So you can do things like put a kick a can minigame in your Sakuya game.
It tended to be really fun and stupid thing to pursue while you're playing the game.
Yeah. So I had intended to finish this game, and it's not a very long game because each stage is maybe like an hour, like on the high end. Like it's definitely shorter than another 6-stage action game released 10 years ago. I had planned to finish this. I didn't because I have fallen the fuck back into Binding of Isaac.
Oh, well, then.
I look at my Steam played, and I've got like 3 hours on Lotus War and like 10 on Isaac.
Back to the basement, baby.
I'm just fucking all the way back in.
Repentance just came out.
Yeah, the new expansion.
Like, what's it doing that, like, because, man, I fell off with Afterbirth Plus. I just did not like it.
I did too. Yeah, it was bad. But the problem is that for this, I just started a new save file.
That's so weird.
I just felt like, let's go back to basics.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe.
Cool.
Because Afterbirth Plus was a little weird because when they released it on PC, like a ton of that stuff just unlocked instantly.
Yeah.
And then when they released like the complete edition of the game on Switch, a bunch of that stuff had unlock requirements.
Yeah.
So it didn't just hit you all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they patched that into the PC version at some point with like Booster Pack 5.
I believe I read something about that, yes.
Yeah. I found it very hard to actually research any of that and like get a clear definitive answer. But I was just like, I'm just going to start from a new save file.
Yeah.
And so far, it's just been treating me really good. That game, just every run just feels different because...
when your fundamentals are as good as the Binding of Isaac Rebirths are, like...
It's strong fundamentals and just the amount of items in that game and just tiers as a concept is just so infinitely deep.
Yeah, like they can do so much, and like the way that they've made things synergize over the course of like 10 years. Like 10 years, that game's been out like 10 years or some shit.
It started as a Flash game.
Like in the way that they've worked with like turning your tiers into like all of these various synergies and like things that work together that you don't think would, and suddenly there is a reaction. It's still like the most surprising and just like the biggest dopamine hit you can get.
And like they were talking about how like they went in and like made old synergies that didn't work in this expansion.
Yep.
And I don't think I've seen any of that, but just like even then, just like the fundamentals where it's like I got one item, I think it was a new item, so I don't really understand how it worked, but it's something about like being able to control your tiers after they've been already shot.
Mm-hmm. You know what's cool though?
Then I got Ludovico tier. What's cool?
That this game has 4-player online co-op, and it fucking works.
There's I haven't messed with that at all.
Yeah, I saw Brasentia stream it.
Bonkers.
Yeah, Brosentia streamed doing some co-op stuff with people, and it looked really solid the whole time.
Oh man,
we got to try. And apparently, you can do it if the other person doesn't have the expansion too.
Oh jeez.
So we'll have to like look into this.
It's Steam. Steam has like crazy like sharing stuff now.
Yeah,
and I think they're using that. Like it's not actually like
an online
server based.
Something.
It's just like I don't know,
peer to peer. We'll have to try it.
Yeah.
We'll have to look.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had one run early on where I get like a new version of Control tiers, and then I get Ludovico tiers, which is the one that just makes your tier into a giant thing that you control.
Yeah.
So I've got double control. So what that makes happen is that the Ludovico tier is shooting its own stream of tiers that just follow it around because they're also controlled.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
And this is like my second or third run of the game. I'm like, oh, this is weird. And then I get one later where it's like I get Ludovico and electric tiers. So like whenever it hits something, just electricity pops out and hits anything nearby. So anything that spawns more enemies, they're just dying instantly because there's that electricity just waiting to get them.
Oh my god, that's real good.
And just basically feels like infinite permutations of what can happen. And there's just that feeling of like any one item could turn a run around when you're kind of having a weak run.
Yeah.
And then there are almost always there's a time where it's like, okay, this is the item I needed. I can turn this around.
Mm-hmm.
Where like one time I got like Money is Power from the Devil Deal, and it was like, okay, well, this run was kind of weak before, but now I've got 99 coins and Money is Power. My damage is like 20. I'm just fucking crushing this.
Yeah. Like it's so smartly designed, and the way the RNG just kind of like it works so well because there's so many items and they've got them placed in the right pools so that like you don't like go into an item room and get like an HP up or something bad or like speed up or something like. Yeah, the way everything is categorized and the way that the RNG rolls it feels super fucking smart and well thought out.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful game.
Like it's one of my favorites ever, and it's just like this is making me want to go back.
So So for John, what happened was that the previous Isaac's expansion was called Afterbirth Plus, but a fan mod came out like a month earlier called Antibirth, and was way better.
Yeah, like they did their own fucking like big graphical overhauls, their own fucking levels, like added, they did like effects and shit, like with like water reflections and just like it felt like a half sequel.
I played a bit. It felt like Isaac 2, basically.
Yeah.
Like they added like 10 bosses or something. Like probably I'm just pulling a number out of my ass, but a ton of new bosses. They added like a whole alternate path through the game where it's like kind of you always do like basement, caves, labyrinth kind of womb levels. And like there's variations of those, but they did a whole other alternate path where it's like, okay, now you're in the flooded area. Now you're in the underground minecart level. Now you're in like the church. It's like a totally different, unique set of levels in that.
Yep. You AFK'd.
What the fuck?
It threw you in the AFK channel.
Yeah. Anyways, so this mod, and so on top of Antibirth Plus, the official one not being very good, that there was also this fan mod that was extremely good.
Yeah.
Was just salt on the wound.
Yeah.
Basically, the team just spent like the last 3 or 4 years just making that official.
Yeah.
And then building on top of it. Because now I know at least one of them, like I mentioned, there's like kind of the flooded basement version that Antibirth had. There's an alternate of that, which is a brown flooded basement.
Oh, good.
Because we got to have poop humor. It's Isaac.
I mean, sure. Yeah, you've got to have just the basement that is literally poop.
Yeah. So it's like now there's like 5 different versions of the first floor.
That's awesome.
There's just a whole lot of game here. So like the fact that they took Antibirth and then took everything in that a step further sounds really neat. Like made some of the synergies work better. Like one of the new characters in Antibirth, they like completely reworked how she actually functions in this. because she was kind of not great in Anti-Birth.
Mm.
So for Bethany, one of the new characters, I think her item originally was just like it makes kind of a bunch of options like Gradius style around her.
Yeah.
And then it goes away after one room.
Mm-hmm.
The way they've reworked her now is that like her active item will stack with any other active item in the game.
Oh.
So it was a ton of work. So like anytime you use any other active item on top of her base book, it makes one option.
Yeah.
And does the active items regular thing. It's just like, oh my god, what have you guys done? Like there's like an item that's like temporary psychic shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's kind of a bad item normally.
Yeah.
But now that I'm using it every 2 rooms, and every time it also makes like a little option.
Yeah, like
that also has and all those options are unique and custom made for the item that you're using. Like that one makes little purple ones that also have the homing shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get like Book of Revelations, and it's making like options that are like guarding you.
That's so good.
Because they're representing soul hearts.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like the item how to jump will just make an option where you jump. It's like every single one has a unique.
That's fucking crazy. Like
they made how to jump interesting. Like
wow.
It's just that I think there's definitely a reason why this took so long to come out, is because they just were like, this is the end. We're just doing everything possible.
Yeah. Like they've said definitively that this, like if there's any more Isaac, it will be Isaac 2.
I don't think
it's going to be, but that's basically what Ed said is like, this game's done. If there's ever another Isaac, it'll be Isaac 2, but that was not a promise of an Isaac 2.
They're saying like there will be bug fixes for this. There will not be content updates.
No, like we're done.
We're done.
and now Nicholas can go back to having nothing else to do.
Yeah, Edmund kind of wants them to fuck off.
Yeah, he's not a big fan because they're a bunch of fucking jerks that don't pay people.
Yeah. He said he would have split ties with them if not they were already like years in development of this.
Yeah.
And like that wouldn't have been fair to everyone. And
it's
but he seemed to have thought about it still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicholas is such a fucker.
Yeah, they're fucking terrible people.
Yeah. But the game's real good.
Oh man, you got me wanting to go back. You got me like
I mean, to be fair, I am kind of still in the early game part where it's like I haven't really seen any of the actual new stuff. There's like 2 bosses that can show up in the early regular floors. And one of them I really like. It's a giant version of those spiders that hang out on the wall.
Oh, nice.
And like the head spins around, so there's 3 different head sections that you have to blow up.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a very me boss.
Okay, like, yeah, I'm here for that.
It really seems like because each of them has like a different laser pattern and it spins around.
Yeah,
it's just like this is something I would do.
That's dope.
That game, it pairs very well with second screen having a VTuber stream on it. Because it was already a podcast game.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's like, hey, I've got infinite videos of anime girls playing video games to watch. Just goes down real smooth.
Get the VTubers to play the baby poop game.
I really would love one of them to play Isaac. I will definitely let you know if that happens.
Yeah, I need to see this.
Because somebody actually started playing Eye of the Somnium Files last week, and I was like, "Ooh,
yeah!" Like I'm watching that. That's fun.
I was like, "Oh, an interesting pull for once," and then everybody else is just playing fucking Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter and Minecraft. It's typically like where they're going right now.
Like Gura started playing Monster Hunter.
Pretty much the same game, right?
Yeah. Gura starts playing Monster Hunter. It's the first time just everyone is yelling at her in chat like, no, do it this way.
Oh, God. I couldn't deal with that.
Yeah. Because, just...
Oh, God. There's only one way. There's only one way to play the video game.
I don't know what weapon to use. And everyone in chat's just like, no, you gotta do this one.
No, use this one. No, use it. It's literally like there's no consensus at all because the game is literally made to be played however you want. And it's just like, dude, just let her fucking play the game. Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyways,
But what if
that's
she plays it wrong, Polly?
Yeah, I know. I
Have
know.
you considered?
People do that with Dark Souls all the time. There's literally only one way to play it right.
Yep. You get this Biohonder and put all your points in his
There you
strength.
go. Yep. Strength. That's
all you need is strength.
This is such a good fucking character.
All you need is strength.
Played through that entire game doing that. I won a lot of one-on-one battles I probably shouldn't have, and probably made a lot of people mad too.
It works.
It does. I just dumped even past the 40 threshold, I put every point in strength. Her name was Strength for a reason.
So you beat the game without putting any points into anything else?
Yep.
I want to play that version. I want to play that where it's just everything dies really quick, but it's very lethal.
But it's like, yeah, you get hit, you're gonna fucking feel it.
You just win once and then you win.
Yeah, basically. It was like maybe 4 hits.
God. Just going up to the final boss with the two-handed sword, just bonk.
I started replaying Dark Souls. I did like 5 years ago or something. Like as an experiment, I did put like all my points into strength for the first 5 hours, and I did beat the gargoyles in like 3 hits.
It feels really good, doesn't it? Especially those fuckers. Especially those fuckers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a podcast.
You think that's a podcast?
I think that's a podcast.
Yep.
All
Punchy.
right. So, thanks again, everybody, of course, for always having an ear for us, for coming out to the streams, all that fun stuff. Always means a lot. We love that you guys listen. We hope you're entertained, of course. So, John Thayer, could you tell the folks at home where they can find you?
farawaytimes.itch.io.
And Rhett, where...
I guess for the first time ever, I'll plug my itch.io as well. It's ret.itch.io. Amazing.
Yeah, really? Yeah, I played a lot of Hunters this week.
Nice.
That game turned 10 years old on Monday.
10 years. What the fuck?
Like, every day this week was a day that Hunters got 10 years older.
I thought you were going to say, like, it was stage 6. Actually, wow.
Yeah.
I guess they weren't every day. Stage 6 came out April 10th.
Oh.
There was some, like, I think I skipped the weekend or something.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, Hunters was 2011.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's why
I had that it was 2013.
Yeah, John, that's why I did a 10-year anniversary stream.
I think Super Zalxer might be 2013.
I honestly thought you said 10 years and that it was 2013 for Hunters, but then there was like Hunters episode 1 was like 2010, so you did that as the 10-year anniversary, and that's what we were talking about.
Oh, no. Like, the first
It's just
game,
10 years. It's just 10 years old.
Yeah, the first
game,
level
10 years
came
old.
out, and then, like, we had to ride it through April 1st. It was great. Good times.
I finished the whole thing before releasing any of it. Like, stage 1 was done in, like,
That's what I thought.
2008.
Yeah, like, stage 1 was done for a long-ass time.
But then I kept fucking tweaking it.
Like, I remember you and D-Mac going to an anime convention together, and him getting to play everything, and me, I was fucking mad.
Yeah, it was Anime Boston 2010, so about a year before. About a year before the game came out, and I had just started Stage 6.
Yeah.
Like, it was basically a 3-year development, and Stage 6 was an entire year by itself. But when you play it, you know why.
Yeah, like Stage 6 is by far, it's a fucking monster. So yeah, go to ret.itch.io and play Hunters, because I think that they have a container that you can play it in.
I mean, I manually replaced it with exe files.
Okay, so they're exe files now, so it's all good.
Yeah, because somebody was like, please get rid of Flash, and I'm like, fine. So I haven't actually played those. They probably work.
I mean, if you use the SWF to exe converter that I used, it probably works, because that's what I did for Poly Dungeon as well.
It's literally the one that comes by Adobe in the Flash player.
Oh, see, I did it with a special converter that seemed more optimized to handle the situation, so like mine is a little different. I didn't use the default one to make the EXEs for Poly Dungeon.
I've always used the default one.
I mean, it's probably fine, but
Yeah.
I just know that the one that I was using said it was like, man, I'm so much better than the Adobe one, and I'm like, okay, I'll use you. I think I went with it because it gave me a smaller file size too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Go play Hunters. It's very good. Go play all of Rhett's games. They're all good. Not a bad one in the bunch.
Really fucking good.
Except Mike Man 2.
Okay, Mike Man 2. The original version.
No, Mike Man 2.
Oh.
Okay,
See,
the original
John
version,
doesn't-
because the updated one is great.
John did not play the original
ahead.
Mike Man 2.
The original version was
I did not.
very special.
Rhett would not take criticism on that one. And I understand it's your first big game.
That's funny.
You want to have pride in that.
But it didn't work.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The updated Mike Man 2 is stunning.
Yeah, it's a fucking fantastic
I think.
game.
But it's...
It's so good.
Anyways.
All right. We're going to get out of here. Thanks again,
Love
everybody,
y'all.
for coming out. We love you guys so much. And remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. All right, let me get a host going out, and we will say goodbye to everybody this fine evening. Rhett, I'll get you out of here in just a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grocery shopping.
All right, Rhett. You have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Who are we throwing our host over to? Oh.
How is Kingdom Hearts 2 so good, Polly?
I don't know. I haven't played it. There's
so
somebody I'm following that has a Saitan avatar.
Excellent.
He's playing World of Warcraft, though. I don't know that that's got a lot of crossover with our audience. Oh, man. So...
When you walk away.
Oh, my God. Dork. You fucking dork.
Riku. I love Riku. I love these boys.
Let me see what Virus is doing. Is Virus still... Okay. I'm going to send everybody over to Virus Returns. He's doing a Link to the Past randomizer. Having himself a good time. So everybody say hi to Virus. And we will catch you next time. I might do another stream and chat this week. I got a couple of games that I'm wanting to play and just do some bullshit. So we'll just do that. Cool. Wait, is June streaming? Is June streaming? Let's see.
Type.
I'm typing. Now, June Flower is offline. So.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to send you over to Virus Returns. All right. Later, everybody. Look for a stream. Hey, hopefully maybe this week. We'll catch you next time.